Okay, that's fine. It's live now. Yeah, I see it. Thank you. Mhm. A pleasant good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Moosa Cricket Ground for the second weekend of the Houston Youth Premier League presented by Turmeric. This is Brian Walters. I'm happy to be asked to bring you the descriptions of the action today. And the news from the center is that the KATY Raiders have won the toss and they have decided to have a bowl. The batters in for the challengers are Joshua Trump and Rit Hinge. And I'm happy to be joined once again here in the commentators booth by a very young man who is probably, most young 12-year-olds are probably playing games right now or maybe watching cartoons. But Mr. Ishan happens to be here and is going to help describe the action as we see it. Good morning, Ishan.
Thank you. Good morning to you. Today is going to be an exciting match for both KATY Raiders because if they win this, they're in the finals. But I think after Challengers' performances, I think they're going to want to step their game up.
Fantastic. So the bowling is going to be coming from the
Pavilion end.
Pavilion end, which is also known as the Massey Ranch Road end. And this first delivery, a little bit outside. The bowler is going to be Ryan Bagani. Bagani right arm over the wicket and bowling from the from the Massey Ranch Road end. What do you think about Ryan Bagani as a bowler?
He's a good bowler. He's pretty fast as well. But what surprises me is that they're bowling a fast bowler on a flat pitch.
Next delivery just defended into the offside for the first run, and then a fumble at the backward point area results in an additional run. So a little bit of sloppiness. Going back to something that you just said, you thought that it was interesting that they'd open with a fast bowler on a flat wicket. Give me your idea about the wicket from what you've seen.
What I've seen is like they rolled it a lot in the morning, maybe in 1.5 hours, maybe 2. But surprisingly, KATY Raiders surprisingly wanting to bowl first on a flat pitch is crazy.
This is well played, but there's a sweeper out there in the deep, just running it off the face of the bat. Good looking shot by Joshua Trump. And the sweeper gets that ball back in, but it's another 2 runs. So little looks like a positive start here. And it looks like the challengers are they have to win, I think, both of these games, correct me if I'm wrong, to be able to get through to the finals, right?
Yes.
So the mentality you would think of Captain Joshua Trump is to put runs on the board and try to defend it. And after this ball, I'm going to ask you, what do you think a good score would be for the first innings? Ryan Bagani again. Short and almost an action replay, but this time backward point stops it to prevent a run. So what do you think a good score would be, Ishan, for the first innings today?
On this type of pitch, like a flat pitch where like there's barely any cracks, I think 135 through 150 would be a good score. 150 or above would be a really good score.
So Ishan is not only a young, handsome young man, but he's also on the same page as me, Ramji, because that seems like a similar number to what I said earlier. Bagani again, bowling a really good line, Bagani, and staying on that off-stump line. They run through for a quick single.
Really risky to start in the first over. I would be thinking they would play through the first, or play through it and try to get as much runs through the gaps through the power play. But taking that risky run could have ended a good partnership that may have been built.
I don't disagree with you, but also bear in mind that you also have to look for opportunities to score. So if there's an opportunity to get a quick single, then you certainly have to look at that. This next delivery, this is good cricket for me. Just drop it into the gap and run. Just soft hands, drop it into the front of that fielder at cover and run through for a single. So that is the end of the first over. No risks at all taken, and I think a good positive start here for the challengers. 6 without loss.
That was a nice piece of cricketing shot. He just thought about not hitting it too hard. Just tapped it, tried to take the single. No risk there, and just rotating strike. And that's 6 runs off the first over.
So good positive start. 6 runs from the first over. And Rithinge just facing one of those 6 deliveries and getting a single. Josh Trump, of course, facing the other 5. So each batter is going exactly at the strike rate of 100. And in the meantime, the bowler coming from the Pearland end should be Sean Jindal. Sean Jindal, left arm orthodox spinner. Tell me about you said earlier you wanted to see a spinner bowling on this flat wicket. What do you expect for Sean? And you can answer this question after this ball. Sean Jindal, good left arm spinner, and he's spinning it across the 2 right-handers. What do you expect for him to be able to do? In fact, maybe you can answer now since there's a little bit of a delay.
I think I said that last week, but on this, I think it was turn away. I think they're trying to look for a big breakthrough. But on a flat pitch, I don't think bowling a spinner first 6 overs is good. But if he has the line and length, it would be okay.
Okay, so starts well here. Both bowlers seem to have keyed in on what I think is important to note, that an off-stump line is almost always going to be your friend. Nothing so far too straight, and everything has been delivered on that off-stump line. Next delivery again on the offside, and it's played through. Don't have the legs to get to the boundary, I don't think, but they should get too easily. And they just jog through for that second. So, again, I think for me, just good cricket all around, because both of these bowlers are sticking to their off-stump lines and having the batters play into that offside. And then the batters, in comparison, are also taking the advantage to get those balls that are in the gaps, not necessarily looking for any big shots, but looking for opportunities to pick up those quick 1s and 2s.
Yeah, I agree, but there's a lot of dupes, so I don't think most good shots, unless they're like hit really hard behind or going for like 6, most of them might not just go because it's a big boundary on the offside.
Bang on target again and just defended by Josh Trump. My apologies, that's Red Hinge on strike. Right now up to 3 from 4 balls. Josh Trump 5 from 5 deliveries. Now using the feet and driving uppishly just for a split second mid-on. May have thought he had a chance, but he dove a little to his left, and that ball maybe evaded his hand by about a foot, and runs away for the first boundary of the day.
That's a good shot. If he hit it a little bit more high up, it would have been safe. He hit it just like almost straight into the fielder's hands, which is not an ideal shot when you're trying to look for a good partnership.
So the first 4 of the day by Rithinge, using his feet and this time losing his shape. Just looking to hit that a little too hard. Still going to get 2 runs, it looks like, though, because that thick under edge trickled to mid-wicket, and they go through for another couple. So a little bit of an expensive start here so far by Sean Jindal. Probably not what you had in mind, Ishan, when you wanted to have the spinner come on.
No, I would think he would bowl a little slower and just try to turn it away.
There he goes again, down the wicket. This time he does get all of it. That might have, in fact, yes, it did carry all the way for 6. Confident looking shot. So that tells me a couple things. Number one, Rit is looking to take the attack to the bowling side. And then number 2, the spinner is not getting much turn on this flat wicket because he's essentially hitting across what would be the spin. If there were any spin, it would have been a cross from him. But he comes down the wicket and hits that over the top of mid-on. So for me, those are worrying signs for the KATY Raiders if you want to bowl your spinners.
I don't think you would bowl spinners because Rit and Josh, they're looking to get enough runs through this power play. So I don't think bowling spinners right now would be a good option, at least for now. Maybe later in the game when the pitch is like a little less flat and can turn a little more, maybe bring the spinners in, but let the Pacers deal some damage first.
Okay, so here we go. Ryan Bagani back into the attack for his second over. Played off the outer edge, and it is booted by that fielder, short third. So not very sharp in the field of the KATY Raiders. They've, in a couple of instances so far, turned dot balls into ones and ones into twos. It's very important under these conditions with a pitch that I think is not going to be very helpful to the bowlers to do what you can to prevent any extra runs in the field.
I agree. Fielding should be more tight, and they should just try.
Oh, listen to the sound of the ball off that bat. That was raced, absolutely laced through the offside, through the covers. For I think that is the first boundary struck by Josh Trump. The score now moving on to 26. What a lovely sound that made off the bat.
Ryan Bagani giving too much width to him, and Joshua Trump just giving the face of the bat, timing it, and hitting the middle, and a race away for 4.
Oh, looking to fish outside off. Now this time that's a better delivery. That last delivery was in the slot outside off, and it was drilled through the covers. This one just a touch shorter and a touch straighter. And Josh Trump waving at that one and missing.
Just fishing it. He already got enough runs for that ball. No need to play it up in the air. Just do something crazy.
In the air and straight to mid-off. Oh, it went right down his throat. So, honestly, Josh Trump will play much better shots than that in his career as compared to what he did there. A bit of a nothing shot, just in the air, not necessarily struck with power, and straight to mid-off for the first wicket of the day. 26 for 1.
Like I said, there's no need to hit crazy shots or do something crazy. He just wanted something because he didn't get something out of the last ball, thinking maybe I can hit wider or hit over. He didn't hit it that well. I don't think he middled it. It didn't look as he middled it, but I think he's going to beat himself up in the locker room.
Well, I referred last week to what the conversation at the dinner table was like with Josh Trump, his brother Matthew Trump, and his father Brett Trump. Well, I think the conversation at dinner tonight is going to be, don't give it away. That was not the best ball in the world that Ryan Bagani can bowl, and it was more of a hit-me ball, but it could have been kept down on the ground. Or if you commit to playing an aerial shot, he could have elevated it and gotten it over that fielder. But either way, sort of choosing the middle option and essentially holding out. A pretty simple catch in the end. So the first wicket goes down. 2.4 overs into the 20-over match here between the Challengers and the KATY Raiders in the Houston Youth Premier League Turmeric Spring Super Edition. The new batter is going to be Aaron Nadkarni, coming in one down. Obviously the son of the great Sushil Nadkarni, one of the more recognizable names in the history of USA cricket. Bagani into Nadkarni, a little straight, and it turns off his hip almost immediately, getting off of the mark. That will, I think, for the captain himself, Josh Trump, he has now the next 17 overs and 2 balls. Make that 17 overs and 3 balls to think about that dismissal. And I think he will learn from it because he's a kind of cricketer who will take that to heart and make sure that he doesn't repeat the same mistake. Looking outside off, Ritt misses. That is the end of a successful over. Good over by Ryan Bagani. The end of 2. Make that the end of 3. Scores 27 for 1.
If we could get like a replay for Joshua Trump's shot, but right when he gave the catch, he didn't try to hit it, but he didn't try lofting it, but he didn't try hitting on the ground. I think he just like wanted to pick it just over Ryan's head, but didn't hit it. And Sean Jindal is coming back to bowl after that 14 run over. So let's see what he can do if he turns it. Aaron is known to play spin down coming down the track.
Well, we saw that it didn't turn necessarily for Sean Jindal when he bowled in the first over. And Ritt Hingett took full toll of that. So we'll see whether or not he's able to extract any turn. If he's not able to get turn, then he becomes very hittable, because I don't think that there will be much deviation on the pitch itself, and it's going to be that much more important to stick to his right line and his right length. Well played, and then good piece of work by Jindal to field off his own bowling. So good successful start to the over. It's going to be up to him now to continue exactly along that same path. Get the ball in the right areas, and you don't have a lot of room for error as a spinner, as this is played into the offside for no run.
There's like one soft spot on the pitch, but if he hits that, he's gonna get a lot of turn. But mostly because last over he looped it. I think he's bowling a little flatter this over, trying to not get himself hit.
Struck fiercely, but right back to the bowler himself. So 3 dot balls, that's a good start. Ritt Hingett 15 from 8, and he wants to go after Sean Jindal. You can tell his body language. He's looking big. It's going to be up to Sean Jindal to keep the ball out of the hitting areas. Short and cut away. That may just have... No, it will slow down. Won't have the legs to get to the boundary. But they jog through for another couple.
Like I said earlier this match, the dew is going to play a big part in the first few overs. First hour, there's going to be some dew. But Sean Jindal not getting any spin, but bowling tight and bowling flat, not giving any loopy balls to the batsman.
I think he learned his lesson from tossing up to Ritt Hingett. Came down the wicket a couple of times. One hit him for 4, and the other hit him for 6. This just goes into the outfield for a single. But I think you're exactly right to highlight that. He pushing it through a little bit more flatly this over, and just making sure that he doesn't give the batter any time to be able to use his feet to get advanced down the wicket. Next delivery, again flat and driven to short extra cover. What a brilliant over this is. This is much, much better. More what Sean Jindal was looking for. Only 3 runs coming from the over, so after 4, the score is 30 for 1.
I think all they're trying to do now is try to build a big partnership and just trying to keep this partnership through, because these are one of their many best partnerships they can make.
So Ryan Bagani to continue from the Massey Ranch Road end. His figures so far, 1 for 13 from 2 overs. Did well to break the partnership. And this is going down the leg side for the first wide of the day. The first wide signaled by umpire Altaf Mahesania. Umpire Mahesania is in operation from the Massey Ranch Road end, and the umpire standing currently at square leg, operating at the Pearland end, is Sujit Gupta. Ryan Bagani. Next delivery in the air for a while. Could have been caught. And then a shy at the non-striker's end. A lot of action just for a second. And boy, again, they continue kicking the ball around in the outfield. The KATY Raiders showing a bit of sloppiness. First, you've had the wide in this over. Then you've had a ball that was in the air. Potentially could have been caught. But then the throw coming in from mid-off down to the keeper, got through him, and went through for another couple runs. So a bit of sloppiness that needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah, but sloppiness by both teams. Orange is trying to play it hard, but they already lost one wicket. No need.
There it goes over the top. Extra cover. That sweeper running around from the cover boundary to clean up, and they get 2 runs.
The first ball to wide, I think Aaron was trying to scoop that because you could see he already got on his knee and his bat was already facing upwards.
Oh, look at this. It's an overstep and a free hit. Missed that when it happened live, but now you see umpire Mahesania signaling it's going to be the first free hit of the day, and look out here. A big swing is coming. Oh, that's well bowled. It's clipped away, though. It's going to get close to the boundary. A lot of work by that fielder coming across from mid-on. And they get 2 runs. That actually was a very well bowled delivery just in the block hole and clipped away through that mid-on area for a couple.
I think KATY Raiders, they want to win, they're going to have to take away some big wickets like Aaron, Rit, and other few wickets. But like they can't have this sloppy fielding. So they need to have tight fielding. They need to keep up with their fielding. And if they keep up with their fielding, they can take the wickets. But if they don't, like if they don't have their good fielding, then everything will be sloppy. Like their fielding, they'll drop catches.
Well, they've started out sloppily in the field, and they're much better fielding side as compared to what they're showing right now. This is wrapping Rit Hinge on the pad, half-hearted appeal by Ryan Bagani, and not given by umpire Mahesania. So 2 balls remaining here in the 5th. As a reminder, the first 6 overs, the first 36 legal deliveries are your power play overs, during which only 2 fielders are allowed outside the circle. So after the next 2 deliveries, and this is attempted hoik over the onside, a thick inside edge, and it rolls down to fine leg for 4. So not where he intended it, Rithinge. Looking to play that over mid wicket, I think, but it still has the legs to travel all the way down to fine leg for 4.
Yeah. He's trying to hit it. Edged it was lucky, but I don't think he needs to hit it. Already 43 runs in 4.5 overs. They still have 1 over left of power play, but whatever he did, I think he's thinking it through his mind.
Last ball of the 5th, and that's well played. Just dropping it down to short third, and again another fumble. This time it doesn't get too far away, though. So that fumble doesn't hurt. A single coming off of the last delivery. That is 14 from the over. Very expensive one. And the challengers are off and running. The KATY Raiders have some thinking to do. At the end of 5, the score is 44 for 1. $44 for 1 after 5. And And this is, of course, the Houston Youth Premier League. And part of the joy of being involved in the Youth Premier League is that not only do you have youth operating on the field, but you also have youth operating right here in the commentators booth. First 5 overs, I had the pleasure of having Ishan Malpani with me. And now, starting in the 6th, we're going to be joined by young Vinay Baraji. Good morning, Vinay.
Good morning.
Okay, so Vinay, you are a teammate of Ishan's, and you and I have actually commentated together in the past. I'll ask you a question about that in a second. There's a new bowler coming this time from the Pearland, and that is Abiram Yeruva. Tell me a little bit about your cricket, and what is it that, number one, about the sport that you like, and then number two, after this ball, tell me how you think the game is going so far. This is, looking to late cut, missing out.
So I am a right-handed leg spinner, and I am a right-handed batsman, and I think this game is going very well. And as Ishan said, the Challengers need to win these 2 games to go into the finals.
Fantastic. Tossed up, looking just, again, Rithinge almost looking like a caged tiger, wants to go big, but I think he's also cognizant of the fact that the opportunity is there to score runs, so he doesn't want to necessarily take any risks. This is the last over of the power play, so just 3 balls remaining here in the power play, and forward and defending, a good quick single take, and that is good cricket. So all in all, I think the way that this has started out so far doesn't look like the Challengers are taking very many chances. And every once in a while, there has been an opportunity to get some runs. But for the most part, looking to go big. That's a good spinning delivery that goes past the outside edge. So just 1 ball remaining here in the power play. Yeruva with a good economical over so far. Just 1 run coming from the over so far. And he's going to, I think, want to close this out strongly. Lofted down the ground, but catchable. The ball was up there for long enough for Ryan Bagani to come in and take the catch. He chose not to, but there's a no ball. So immediately calling and signaling no ball is the umpire that's umpire Sujit Gupta. And that is absolutely unforgivable. A leg spinner, cannot bowl any no balls. His run-up is only 2 or 3 steps, so not sure exactly why he allowed himself to commit that sin. The free hit does not hurt. It's just trickled to square leg. They get a single, but again, some sloppiness that needs to be cleaned up. At the end of the 6th over, power play done and dusted. The score is 48 for 1.
Vyash Shreeman bowling from the other end. Bowling from Macy Road end.
So double bowling change. This is going to be Vyas. Vyas bowling from the Massey Ranch Road end. What do you know about Vyas as a bowler? And by the way, we've switched commentators once again, joined here by Ishan Malpani. What do you think about Vyas as a bowler?
Vyas is a good off spinner, and he's a opening batsman.
Okay, tossed up, very, very high tossed up delivery, and it's played into the extra cover region. This is a good start. That brings up the 50. This is really good batting so far by the Challengers. They are scoring right now at the rate of 8.11 runs and over. This exact scoring rate will get them to 162. We said earlier 135, 140 might have been par, but I think you're going to see them aim for much higher than that. And another fumble in the outfield. They may come back for the third. No, they don't. But boy, this sloppiness needs to be cleaned up by the KATY Raiders.
One thing you said when you were talking to Vinay, Rit was being caged up like a tiger, right? So like he's trying to hit the ball, he's trying to hoik it, but he hasn't set in.
And once again, played into the offside. Good bowling to his field so far by Vyas Sriman. Now the question to be asked is, with so many singles being scored through that offside, might they be able to get an additional fielder in the covers to stop those singles? If he sticks to that line, that might be something to consider. This is well stopped, though. This is in the extra cover region, and they do not pierce that gap, so no run there. 53 for 1 with just 2 balls remaining here in the 7th.
Vyas bowling really well. Good fielding.
Once again, just off the back foot and playing it into the offside. Aaron Nadkarni, 12 from 14. Rit Hinge, 27 from 20. Those are your combatants in the middle. Tossed up and in the air, not going to carry. And this is Ryan Bagani coming around, doing the work to limit the damage to 2 runs. So relatively decent over by Vyas, but I think just in terms of field placement, he may want to stick to that off stump line and then get an additional fielder in the covers to prevent some of those singles that are being scored. In the meantime, the score is 55 for 1.
Captain not bowling pacers to my surprise, bowling spinners, but keeping yourself, Arya Kananta, and Ryan Bagani in the spot where they were both here on the leg side. They're obviously gonna play it on the offside. So like keep one of them on the leg side, keep one of them on the offside.
It's interesting. So this again is going to be Abhiram Yeruva. Try saying that 3 times fast. And his first over going for 7. His first over going for 4. And he will be bowling now to Rit Hinge. Rit 27, not out from 20.
I think Rit saw that he loops it up 1 or 2 balls this over. So I think once he sees that loopy ball, I think he's going to come down the track.
Well, there's a more defensive field in position now. Let's see if he does that. In fact, he doesn't loop this one up. He pushes it through short and flat, and it's cut to that sweeper out there on the offside. Rit Hinge now moves up to 28 from 21. Aaron Nadkarni, 14 from 15. Both of these batters very capable of scoring heavily. And just looking to force this away right to that fielder, short mid-wicket for no run.
Like you said, like at the dinner table, Aaron and his dad, they wouldn't be exchanging or like talking about HYPL or Coach Sushil Nadkarni not giving any tips to Aaron this tournament because like he's playing against him. Why would he give him tips?
You know, when I saw the rosters come out, that's the first thing that came to mind, is that Sushil was not coaching his son. Tossed up. Sushil, of course, if you take away the sense of Sushil or coaching for another team and just talk about batting prowess, there are very few people in the country that Aaron Nadkarni could lean on for batting tips more than his father. In the air, tell you what, that almost carried to short extra cover. He did well to field it, so it didn't get by him. But look, another no ball is called. This is amazing. Boy, so much cleanup work has to be done by the Raiders because they really do look relatively sloppy, and that's lofted down the ground over the top of Long On for 6. So they are being made to pay the price here, the KATY Raiders, for some indifferent bowling and fielding. And the last thing that you want to do is have a spinner bowl a or a free hit delivery to 2 batters like Rit Hinge and Aaron Nadkarni.
He's running in like pretty fast when he like walks and then runs, which is like that's his run up. But if he goes a little too fast, it's gonna be a no ball.
So that is a single to close things out here in the 9th. Make that the 8th. Okay, my apologies. 1 ball remaining. And I'll tell you what, this is going to they're going to actually make, and I would think, make an effort during their TV timeout to be able to take a little bit of time to sort of recalibrate, make sure that they know what the assignment is, and keep sort of reminding each other how important it is to not have that sloppiness come into their game. Just make sure that they do what is needed to get back to the basics. So 65 for 1 after 8, and I think some work needs to be done by these two with the ball in hand, and then certainly by the fielders to be able to make sure that what they're doing is consistent with what they know needs to be done.
Again, Arya Kananta putting him and Ryan on the leg side, but like Rit and Aryan are smart enough not to hit on the leg side when there's 2 good class fielders. They're gonna try and play on the off, get a boundary maybe, but most likely just take the singles when the two best class fielders on the field are just standing there.
So in the meantime, V.S. Sriman is continuing. Smashed in the air, square of the wicket. The sweeper has work to do and he'll never get there. So another boundary. That is well struck by Aaron Nadkarni. He now moves up to 19 from exactly 19, stroking it exactly at 100. And the score now moving up to 70. Short and working it back to the bowler himself, who fields for no run. So a lot of action all of a sudden. 70 for 1 after 8.3. Tossed up, in fact, a full toss, and Aaron Nadkarni is going to be furious with himself for not having put that away. That was a full toss that got to him waist height. He could have done maybe just below waist height. Above waist height, it would have been a no ball. But he should have done more with it than he ended up doing, which is just tapping it back to the bowler. And another loopy delivery, better length this time, and just played into the covers for a single. Rit Hinge now back on strike. He's 36 from 25. Aaron Nadkarni, 20 from 22. Via Sriman, this is going to be his last ball of his second over. Short delivery, lofted in the air, just out of the reach of extra cover. And they run through for a single. So a bit of an eventful over. A single to close things out in the 9th. 7 runs coming from the over. At the end of 9, the score is 72 for 1. As a reminder, we're happy to bring you the Houston Youth Premier League presented by Turmeric. The Turmeric Spring Edition, Spring Super Edition, HYPL 2023. The Challengers and the KATY Raiders are locking horns in this battle here on a wonderful Saturday morning in Pearland, Texas. KATY Raiders won the toss and decided to bowl. And the Challengers, I think, as of right now, are making them probably regret this decision because they're looking relatively indifferent in the field. They've conceded several extra runs, both by misfields and by some poorly placed bowling. This is Darshan Haribabu, his first over, bowling from the Pearland end, and he's bowling now to Aaron Nadkarni. Worked into the leg side. This is just going to be one, I think, as that fielder coming in from the deep does the cleanup work, and again limiting the damage to just one run.
Darshan Haribabu, he's a good off spinner and an even better batsman. He's a really good batsman, and he can play in any situation. But that's a lot of turn on the ball. But as a spinner, he can play really well.
Going wide this time, too much turn, and certainly going down the leg side. Called another wide. Well played, just running it off the face of the bat, running down to square leg, and they run through for a couple.
Darshan letting the ball grip the ground and turning it. This is the most turn we've seen all day. Like, he turned it from off stump to to wide. I mean, I don't know how much turn he's getting, but it's a flat pitch, so getting turn on a flat pitch is rare.
Played into the covers again. So good batting here by the Challengers, just making sure that they pick up those scoring opportunities. One ball remaining here before we get to the halfway stage. 7-8 for one. So the projected score from here is 159 if they continue at this exact same rate. I'll go through some more other options in a minute, as this is forced to mid-wicket for no run. So that is the end of the over. 10 overs done. 6 runs coming from the 10th over. And at the end of 10, the score is 78 for 1.
Like you said, they have a good projected run rate, like 156, going at a run rate of 7.8. But KATY Raiders have a good batting lineup, like Arya Kananta, Ryan Bagani, Pranav Chittipalli, and then we see the silvers and gold, like Darshan Haribabu, V.R. Sriman. We see a lot of these good batters on this team that can bat. So any score that Challengers put up, at least KATY Raiders will try because they have a good batting lineup.
Well, they have the batting, and I think one element that you sort of have to keep in mind is that if you do in the field less than what you're capable of doing, then you're going to want to make up for it when you bat. And so don't know yet what the first innings target is going to be. Right now at 156 is what the projected score is. But if they score from here at 10 runs and over, which is possible, then that they'd be setting a target of around 178. So powered away down toward wide, long on. New bowler in is Shiv Shani. Left arm over the wicket. First delivery to Rithinge was powered away in that gap between long on and mid wicket, but good work by Vias to come across and prevent any additional runs.
Too short on this flat pitch. Way too short. Maybe pitching it up, try to get the edge to Pranav Chittipalli.
Oh, you said too short, and he delivers another one that's even shorter, and it's crashed away through the offside. Diving effort out there in the deep, but not able to prevent that from going across the ropes. So Shiv Shani Good bowler, but he's going to need to pitch it up exactly as you said.
That's a great diving effort by whoever's on the boundary. But Shiv Shani bowling two bad ones, two short ones, needing to pitch it up, trying to get the edge, trying to let him fish it.
Shani left arm over the wicket, gets us 1-2 straight, and unfortunately it's going to go for 5 wides. So the signal by umpire Mahisania going down the leg side, bonus runs, 5 coming from that one delivery. Going down the leg side, so that already makes it a wide, and then it evades a diving keeper and goes all the way for 4 additional runs.
Shiv Shani now, that was a little short too, hitting a soft patch. But staying low for some reason, bowling wide, just bowl on the offside and bowl it full. That's all he needs to do, really.
That is a much better line and a much better length. That is the first time in this over so far that he's gotten his length and his line right. So from a left arm over the wicket angle, what he needs to be doing is targeting that area just outside the off stump, maybe a 4th stump line, and having it be full enough that the batter, Nat Garney, cannot go back onto his back foot. And that, again, is a better length. The line just a touch straight, so it's work behind square for a single.
As we're talking, Rith Hinge is at 42 off 30. So I'm not going to jinx it. But he's 8 runs away from his second 50 of the tournament.
Well, you literally just jinxed it. If you say I'm not going to jinx it, then you don't say what you're not trying to jinx.
But let's see if he can connect.
Well defended. So an indifferent start by Shiv Shani, but the last 3 deliveries have been much more along the lines of what he's looking to accomplish as a fast bowler, bowling left arm over the wicket. So up to him now to close out strong. His first over so far going for 11. 5 of those via the wide route. But a good delivery here to close things out will be what he'll be looking to do. That is that good delivery. It's defended to short third, and they run through for a single. A single that brings 12 from that over. The overall score now jumps to 90 for 1.
So if we're talking about Rith, right? At the start, he was like, we were talking about how he was being how he was being a caged tiger, trying to hoik many balls that weren't supposed to be hoiked, and he was trying to hit them when he wasn't set. Now, after playing 32 balls, scoring 43, he's pretty set and can play the balls freely now. Just has to watch what length they're hitting. Darshan Haribabu comes back from the Pure Land end, or Baki's end.
So currently, the score 90 for 1 means that they are projected to get to 164. At this exact rate, 164 is their projected total. And they're scoring at the rate of 8.18 runs and over. If they get that scoring rate up minimally up to 9, then they're projected to score 171. If they get it up to 10, which would be difficult but not impossible, then they are projected to get to 180. So if you are the KATY Raiders, what adjustments do you need to do to slow down the run rates?
I would bowl slower bowlers because they're bowling fast bowlers. I'll bowl bowl the spinners, bowl the pacers from the Pure Land end because that's where the pacers the spinners are getting some bounce, and bowl the spinners from the Macy Ranch road end because that's where they're staying low.
Let's see if they listen to you. This is Haribabu back into the attack for his second over. First over went for 6, starts off this over with a single.
It's pretty risky bowling a spinner to a bounce when it's bouncing because if it bounces a little too much, it can be smacked.
Tell you what, that bounced off of a good length. So Aaron Nadkarni not able to force it through the offside where he was aiming. So good bowling so far by Hari Babu.
I think that just caught him off surprise. Caught him off guard.
Tossed up and hammered in the air. Daniel Bagani out there on the boundary. Did I say Daniel Bagani? My apologies. Ryan Bagani. Daniel Bagani is playing on the Balkis field. So if he hit a ball to Daniel Bagani, that would have been a big hit. But Ryan Bagani at deep extra cover prevents any additional runs.
I think Darshan just tossed that one up on accident, but he's bowling really good, bowling it flat in that turn. But I don't think he's trying anything, really trying to loop it, trying to make them and come out and get the catch. I think he's just sticking to keeping it flat, let them take the singles, let them take the doubles. But if they get a chance, they can take it.
Reaching forward and defending that into the offside, into the onside. A half-hearted appeal for LBW. In fact, that might have been no signal by the umpire. So that was an actual run off the bat. And that brings Rithinge up to 45. And defended. Good piece of work from his own bowling. So that is the end of the over. 12 overs are up. At the end of 12, the score is 94 for 1. So 94 for 1 after 12. Ishan, tell me if you've heard this before. In fact, you just said they're listening to me. Tell me what you meant by that.
I think because they're bowling a spinner from this end, where they're gonna get some where the ball's gonna stay low, and because they're hitting from this end because the ball's staying low. So if they try and turn it, that might cause them to get an edge or just catch them off guard. But if they, I think they should bowl a pacer on the other end. That's what I think.
Okay. So the spinner from this end is Sean Jindal. He's now bowling his third over. So far, his figures are 2.2 overs, none for 18. And what I also started saying is, tell me if you've heard this before. If you double the score after 12 overs, that gets you to what the final score will be. Going back, playing this on the back foot is Rithinge. Probably wanted to go forward to that ball. It was much fuller than the type of delivery that you'd want to go to the back foot on. So after 12, the score was 94. If you double the score at 94, that would get you to 188. Do you think that 188 is achievable?
It's achievable, but it's gonna be really hard because I think KATY Raiders picked up their sloppiness. Their fielding is back, but if they just try and hit the middle and don't pick out fielders one by one, it's doable.
Certainly doable, and they have 9 wickets in hand. 9 wickets in hand. If one of these two, either Aaron Nadkarni or Rithinge, bats all the way through, then I think it is very possible that 188 mark could be reached. And we'll have 7 more overs to see if that's possible. At the end of 13, 96 for 1.
I would just like to add. I just realized this. They have more than 50 run partnership. Actually, a 70 run partnership exactly. 70 run partnership exactly.
70-run partnership in any version of cricket is a great, great achievement. What you're going to want to do, though, if you're these two, is to continue pushing toward that type of partnership that would break the backs of the KATY Raiders. You don't want to have them feel that they've gotten back into the game. And the last several overs have been very good. The last 5 overs have only gone for 31 runs. So you're bowling and fielding better in the last 5 overs if you're the Raiders. It's up to you now to continue along that same path. This is Darshan Harbabu continuing. 2.1 overs so far, none for 11 after that single.
I think they're listening to me partially. Because, I mean, Darshan's bowling great on this end. He's getting the turn. But bounce would be a big problem. Because if it just bounces to RN or Rit's waist height, then it could be gone for 4, maybe even 6.
Mm-hmm. Looking to play the late cut and another fumble. Stop me if you've heard this one before. It would have been a tight single, and that tight single has turned into 2, and that 2 brings up the 100. So 100 is on the board. This pair really looking to turn the screws on the KATY Raiders. Darshan Haribabu back again, and this is forced off the back foot for yet another single.
That's 50 for Ritinge, 50. What a great innings he's played. Started off with being like a cage tiger. Now he's playing freely, playing all his free shots, and it's been a exceptional innings.
Great innings by Rit Hingen. He's continuing. Not out yet. And this is forced down to deep long off for another single.
I guess they were going to look for 2, but if they actually ran 2, it would have been a suicide mission. Getting that with Ryan's throw and Darshan's great collect, that's going to be hard.
I have to say, this is really good bowling by Darshan Haribabu, not giving the batters anything to hit. So a single closes out the 14th. Once again, the last 5 overs have only gone for 31 runs. So you're keeping the scoring rate around 6, such that the overall scoring rate has come all the way down to 7.36. It was close to 9 for much of this innings. But look at what that projected score is now, all the way down to 147, scoring at the rate of 7.36 runs and over. So we're talking about the possibility of 188. That's probably not going to happen.
Because I think, and that is...
Oh, we are doing a strategic timeout. First one of the day. As you see, umpire Mahisania tap his wrist. We'll take a short break for the strategic timeout. We'll join you back here in 2 minutes.
Here we are.
Welcome back to the Moosa Cricket Ground in Pearland, Texas. For the last 6 overs of the Challengers innings, Challengers, after having been asked to bat by the KATY Raiders, are 103 for 1. Rit Hinge 51 from 42. Aaron Nadkarni 31 from 36. And Ishan, you were saying, talking a little bit off air about the approach that each of these batters needs to employ the rest of the innings.
Yeah, I think what Roshan, their coach Roshan Nangam, I think they're talking about how Rit should now start like anchoring, and later on he should start hitting. While Aaron, being only there for 36 balls off 31, I think they're saying he should go hit, and when everybody else comes in, just hit. Rit will support them. But fielding wise, I think they're gonna like be tighter. They have to be much more tighter with their approach, and I think fielding, they're gonna have to put all their key fielders in key places.
So Jindal bowling his final over. His figures so far: none for 20 from 3 overs and 2 balls. So 4 balls remaining for the finger spinning left armer. Bowling to the 2 righties. This is struck down the ground by Aaron Nadkarni. That is Shifshani up there on the boundary to do the cleanup work.
One thing I think Sean should do is bowl a little on the leg side and just try to turn it, because he's bowling a lot straighter, but you're not going to get wickets from that, because then it has to turn a lot. But bowling on the leg side and turning it in, I mean, you have 2 deep fielders, so I think he should just try that.
Defended this one in front of the stumps. 1 ball remaining in his spell. All in all, I think a good spell by Sean Jindal. Had a bit of a rough treatment from the first over, but has come back strong. And just looking to keep Rit Hinge quiet on this last delivery. And this is stroked into the extra cover area. Do they want 2? They do want 2. The strong throw throws over everybody's head, and now they'll get 3. So Sean Jindal will not be happy with the way that last delivery was handled in the field. Concedes 3 additional runs when really it could have only been 1. But that is the end of the 15th. Last 5 overs coming up, 109 for 1.
Like you said, the last ball, Sean, they were gonna run 2 no matter what, honestly. But giving that 3rd run, giving Rit strike again, is not gonna be a good sight, because Rit now 5 overs left, and they're now both batsmen I think are gonna go try big, because they're only at 108. Par score is like 135, 140, and like a score to keep the KATY Raiders but you can't keep Ryan and Arya quiet, but keeping most of the Raiders quiet is like 150, 160. That would be hard.
So, looking to play this one forward, thick outside edge, and it trickles behind square 4, a single. And this is Darshan Haribabu coming back in for his last over. Scoreboard has 108 for 1 at the end of 15, so we may have gotten it wrong on our end. So let's say the official score is now 109 for 1 with that single. Tossed up and lofted, deep extra cover, but that is great. That is a spectacular catch, well judged, taken in the deep by Ryan Bagani. My apologies. It stayed in the air for a really long time. Aaron Nadkarni refusing to move from the crease because he knows that he just made a mistake. Now he's walking off after having gifted a wicket to the KATY Raiders. It was lofted in the air, and that was a good running catch taken in the deep by Bagani. The second wicket goes down. The score is 109 for 2.
Darsh Jagamohan comes in at 4. I think he can bat well. He just needs to set 1-2 balls. He can set. He can tee off nicely.
So 109 for 2. Darsh Jaganmohan. Of course, with the change in the rules enacted by the ICC last October, at least effective last October, this time it does not matter if the batters crossed while the catch was being taken. It is always the case that the new batter is going to be on strike. So Darsh will be on strike. Darshan Haribabu, 2 deliveries into his last over, has taken a wicket. Oh, he bowled him, knocked him over the very first ball. That is good bowling. Goes past the outside edge. Darsh Jaganmohan playing completely down the wrong line. And he loses his off stump. So all of a sudden, Darshan Haribabu, who's bowled very well, is on a hat trick.
Like you said, the rule, ICC rule, that's something I have a question, because what's the point? Because they crossed, what's the point of asking the new batter to come and bat the first ball?
I think the thinking may have been, and obviously they didn't consult with me when they made this rule, I think it's good strategy to make sure that you reward the bowling side by having the batter who is new be the one on strike. I think that that's a great initiative. In very many ways, you sort of kill the initiative or you kill the momentum of taking a wicket by having the next person who is going to be facing be the batter, who is, in this case, Rithinge, 56 from 48. I think you enhance the momentum and the building of the momentum by having it be the new batter who is the one on strike. And I absolutely love that. And as you see here, it results for me in a wicket, because I don't think that you're going to defeat Rithinge on that last delivery, but you certainly did with the new batter. And now here is the hat-trick ball. Pushed through quickly and defended. That's well played. This new batter is Pranav Batad, and he immediately not only prevents the hat-trick, but gets off the mark with a single.
Good piece of bowling. Quickly firing this through the air. That's some smart thinking after he bowled 2 off spinners.
Mm-hmm. Next delivery, tossed up again, and a good-looking late cut, but that's good work at backward point to prevent much damage, just a single. So 1 ball remaining in what is really a good spell so far by Darshan Haribabu. 3.4 overs, make that 3.5 overs, 2 for 19. Those 2 coming in this over. And then make that 2 for 20 as this ball is run behind square on the leg side. So good, successful over. Look at this. All of a sudden, once again, talking about the last 5. The last 5 overs have only yielded 22 runs and have resulted in 2 wickets. So good, really good fight back from the Raiders. Score now 112 for 3. The projected score 140. Back here at Pearland, and once again with our rotating commentary panel, we happen to be joined here by, for me, somebody who does better work out on the field than sitting here next to me, the young, exciting batter from right here in Houston, Shreyan Satish. Shreyan, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. This HYPL has been a fantastic event so far, and this game is shaping up to be an excellent match.
this is going to be Aryan bowling from the Pearland, and it struck, make that the Massey Ranch Road, and it struck down the ground for a single. So Shreyan, let's call you now a graduate of the HYPL. You've played in this tournament. I know personally I've interviewed you for the last 3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
and you've played in this tournament for a very long time. Sort of talk through your experience with this tournament and what it means to you.
Yeah, so this tournament was like a really new experience for me. It was in like the first 2 seasons I played, so nobody really like ventured into the space of youth cricket and youth franchise cricket. So I think it was like really revolutionary, and now the HYPL has gone on for 5 or 6 seasons, and it's proved to be a success. So it was good to see like the early development of that and be a part of it.
You're playing these days at a pretty high level. You play, obviously, in the Houston Cricket League, the senior league, but you've also played franchise cricket, not just in the, make like HPL or something like that, but you're also now involved in minor league cricket. So talk a little bit about how Houston Youth Premier League has enhanced your own cricketing experience and how it has prepared you for playing those more important tournaments.
Yeah, definitely. I think HYPL brings like us into more of a space, like a competitive space, that is different than just like league cricket, minor league, and everything else like franchises. I think this is almost set up as like a mini minor league, so we can get the environment, get the grounds, get everything, and just feel like we're a part of it before we actually go on and graduate into the minor league.
This is Aryan Patel, 3 runs conceded so far from his 5, and this is defended into the offside. Quick single taken. I said 5, my apologies, I meant 4. Make that now 4 from 5. Just 1 ball remaining here in the 17th. So after this delivery, you're looking at 18 balls remaining. And just defended into the offside for a single. So once again, for me, I don't know how much of this match you were following along, Shreyan, but at first, the challengers looked like they were on target to score something well north of 170. Now it looks like they're going to be around maybe they might struggle to get to 140, given the way that they've slowed down so far. Just give me your opinion about the match so far.
Yeah, I think challengers have done well in conserving their wickets, but I think a little bit more positive intent had to be shown throughout the middle. Maybe turning those 1s into 2s, maybe going for more boundary options. Because at 3 wickets down, I think you should be a lot more runs, in my opinion.
That's an interesting thought, and I was thinking the same thing. It's a bit of a nothing score. So if you have 117 at this stage, you'd better have 6 or 7 wickets down. With 117, with 3 wickets down, I would have thought that they'd be somewhere around 140, especially when Aaron Nadkarni and Rit Hinge were going. Rit's still there, 59 from 52. Pranav Batad is his partner, 5 from 5. But for them to get to, let's say, 150, they need to go about the rate of 11 and over for these last 3. So they're going to need, I think, to show a little bit more positive intent. For example, look in the leg side, acres of space, nobody inside the circle. You'd think like that type of a shot would yield a couple if they run hard, but they're not pushing. And so it seems like the urgency is not there. And once the Raiders cleaned up their little mistakes in the field, it looks like there's no real answer for the challengers.
Yes, but luckily for the challengers, Rit is still there. He's faced almost half their innings, 52 balls, so he can accelerate. He has all the big shots in his arsenal. He just has to unleash them now.
Well, looking for the late cut. Once again, another fumble, but it doesn't hurt on this occasion. So if you're batting right now, you are now Pranav Batad. you were looking at the field that is set. Earlier I said there was nobody on the leg side inside the circle. I meant in front of square. But where are your scoring options with this type of a field? There's nobody. There's a short, fine leg, and everybody else who is on the leg side is on the boundary. Where are you looking for your scoring options?
It looks like after this ball, I'll answer the question.
Struck down the ground straight enough that it lands safely, and then it's bobbled. That's good work out there in the deep from long on to prevent that from going for a boundary, but they get a couple. You were saying.
So me personally, he looks like he's bowling a lot of cutters into the wicket, into the big leg side. I'll personally be looking to hit a gap on the leg side through mid-wicket and cow corner and possibly get 2, or if I hit it well enough, then I should get 4.
Very full, really a low full toss driven to extra cover for a single. So you're getting your runs right now in 1s and 2s. You only have another 14 balls to go. The score is 122 for 3. What sort of a score are you looking to set if you are the challengers?
I think on this wicket, it looks, although it's a low flat, it looks tacky and a little slow.
Oh, boy, that one did not bounce at all. Looking for a big pull, only getting an under edge. And that's good running. That's the first in a long time where you see the intent to sprint for those 2 runs. 7 runs from the over so far with 1 ball remaining. And even though they've slowed down tremendously, I think you still are able to put a decent total on the board if you try to accelerate towards the end here in these last 13 balls. So Shiv Shani again. Short and hammered through the offside. In the deep, do they run back for 2? No. That's good work in the deep at deep extra cover. So 8 runs coming from the over. The last 5 have yielded 29. And Rithinge at 63, you get the sense that much of what happens in the next 12 balls is going to be up to him. Score is 125 for 3. $125 for 3. Last 2 overs coming up. And this over is about to be bowled by Aryan Patel. So they're switching jerseys and confusing me. But Aryan Patel so far 1 over, none for 5. He will take another over exactly like that last one here, I would think. And bowling to Rithinge, 63 from 55. And this is played in front of this fielder at long on, and it's absolutely unforgivable that Aryan Patel himself was not more active in going for that ball, because he easily could have sprinted over and prevented that second run. But from his not having gone for that, gave the opportunity for the batters to not only score 2 runs, but put Rithinge back on strike.
I think this is the end that they should be going from, short leg side boundary.
Oh, that's exactly what he was doing there. Mishit that. Came off the cute end of the bat. Had he connected with that, that would have ended up over the fence. So I think you and he are exactly of the same mindset. I think he might have just tried to overhit that one, Rithinge.
Aryan Patel is bowling nicely, nice little cutters, making it hard to hit.
Looking for the scoop. I'll tell you what, this is good. Not only is this good bowling by Aryan Patel to keep it out of the hitting zone, but it's good keeping, because the keeper being up to the stumps is sort of limiting the big options for Rithinge, because he has to be aware of where the keeper is, right there behind the stumps. In the air, down the ground, catchable? No. In fact, it's almost more catchable than us here in the commentators area than by the captain, Arya Kananta. That is 6 runs to Rithinge. at his first six, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, it's second six. Make that his third six.
Really good shot by Rit. Aryan Patel missing his length slightly full, and Rit depositing it.
Moving across, exposing his stumps, and then just playing this one down to extra cover for a single. So the last 7 balls are going to be bowled here. One more ball in this over by Aryan Patel. 14 runs conceded so far, and he's going to be looking to close strong to Pranav Batad. And this is defended into the offside. They don't go for the single, and I think that's a good move because that leaves Rit Hinge on strike to face the last over. 134 for 3. So 134 for 3, 1 over remaining. The KATY Raiders, of course, winning the toss and choosing to bowl. I think they're very pleased with the last 10 or 12 overs. They've come back well from a really indifferent and really, frankly, sloppy start in the field. But they've done well to pull the challengers back. 134 for 3 is the challengers score. Rit Hinge 72, not out from 60. And Pranav Batad is his partner. He's 9 from 9. Overall scoring rate so far 7.05. And the last over to be bowled by Shivshani. Plays it down the ground. Do they sprint for 2? Good running. And the fumble in the outfield means that they get 2 pretty easily. I think that was always going to be 2 in any event.
Yeah. I think if challengers get a score upwards of 150 and get a couple of early wickets and get into the Raiders' middle order, I think 150 or 155 should be a competitive total on this slow wicket.
It'll be some going to get to 150, but of course Rit Hinge is still there. And he goes over extra cover. That's going to land safely. This should be a couple more runs, and they jog through for a couple. For them to get to 150, they're going to need to score 12 from the next 4. Is that doable? Yes. Is it likely? Time will tell. But of course, for the person who they'd want to be able to do that is the one on strike. Looking to pull this into the deep. They sprint the first one hard, coming back for the second. Oh, had that throw been collected, it easily could have been a wicket, I think. I think they were always going to go back for that second run, whether or not Pranav Batad was being run out, because the priority right now is to keep Rit Hinge on strike. But as it is, the first 3 deliveries in this over have gone for 3 doubles. Looking for the scoop shot. A no ball. Oh my goodness. Absolutely unforgivable. And now you get to bowl a free hit delivery to Rit Hinge.
That no ball would... Sorry. Oh. Sorry, man. So that no ball will prove to be costly. Can be proved to be costly, this ball.
Looking to smash it and ends up with a dot ball. My goodness. You can count your lucky stars if you are Shivshani, because Rit was looking to hit that ball over that stand at deep mid wicket and ended up only having it come off the Q end of the bat. So just another 2 balls remaining here. The score 141. Rit Hinge only with 2 more balls to do whatever damage he can. Good bowling. Stroke down the ground. They'll absolutely come back for a second. Always going to be coming back for that second run. And so that leaves 1 legal delivery in this innings. The score of 143 means that they may not get, without extras, they cannot get to the 150 that you were looking for. But how competitive is the score the way it is right now?
I think it's looking good. The score on this wicket should be pretty good, and it's certainly defendable with the bowling attack that challengers have. Hinge has played a really good, nice innings. He hasn't been able to find the fence that often, but he's held this innings together.
Advancing, lofting it in the air. That's going to land safely. And stop me if you've heard this before. Another 2 runs. That is good running. 11 coming from that last over. 145 for 3 is your final score. And I think it's going to be challenging to get all the way there, especially at the back end of the tournament. Runs on the board mean a whole lot. So looking at the scorecard, Josh Trump, 11 from 9 with 1-4. Rit Hinge dominating the innings, 82 from 67, 2 4s and 3 6s. And Aaron Nadkarni, 32 from 38 with 2 4s. Darsh Jaganmohan, not from 1, clean bowl first ball. And Pranav Batad helping out at the end, partnering with Rit Hinge, 9 from 9. For the bowlers, Ryan Bagani, 3 overs, 1 for 27. I think the pick of the bowlers for me, Darshan Harbabu, 4 overs, 2 for 21, economy rate of 5.3, and the others going for around 6 runs and over. All in all, I think a good fight back for the KATY Raiders. Now the ball is in their court, so to speak, to knock off what will be, I think, a middling sort of a chase of 146.
I think challengers will be disappointed in themselves after only losing 3 wickets and getting to a total of 145. They had a really nice partnership between Rit Hinge and Aaron Nadkarni, but Aaron fell right as they were supposed to accelerate. But 145 can be proved to be a tricky total. So as long as they get opening wickets and start well and bowl a good power play, it should be an interesting chase.
It's a middling sort of a total, isn't it? So you can't go hell for leather initially because you're not chasing 190, but at the same time, you think that proper cricket should be able to get you those runs. Well, we will be taking a short break. 146 is 140. Yeah, 146 is going to be a chase when you come back in about the next 10 minutes. For now, signing off from Pearland, the Moosa Cricket Stadium. This is Brian Walters, along with a bunch of young cricketers, and we'll join you here in about 10 minutes.
That scared me.
What?
When
When
I
I
said
said no?
No. It scared me.
You are very eager. Welcome back to the Moosa Cricket Ground for the chase between the Raiders and the Challengers. The Challengers, having bowled first, scored, or made that having batted first, scored 145 for 3, and so now the KATY Raiders, who I think fought back brilliantly in the second half of that innings, will be now looking to overhaul a total of 146 for victory. The openers are Ryan Bagani and Pranav Chettipalayam. This is Viraj Ejner, who's going to be bowling from the Pearland and right arm orthodox. And the first delivery is stroked into the offside for no run. Welcome back, Ishan.
Thank you, Brian. I think starting off with the spinner on a flat pitch. Okay, he has good line and length, can grip the surface. That just surprised me. I think they're going with the way how Raiders started with the spinner, and
Lofted over the top of extra cover. That's going to run away for 4. Good positive start by Pranav Chettipalayam. And I think some thinking to do for the bowling side. It's not going to be easy to defend these types of runs. 146, as I said earlier, kind of a middling total, but I think it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they're able to restrict the KATY Raiders to a total below that target, because if you're starting off the bowling with spin, what you're saying is that your spinner is going to be able to land the ball in the right areas and not get hit. But we'll see if Viraj Ejner will be able to do that. Full, very full, an appeal for a catch. Thinking about it is the umpire. Umpire Sujit Gupta giving it a long think and then changing his mind, or at least deciding that there was no edge. Keeper and captain Josh Trump was adamant that there was an edge, but the umpire's opinion is the only one that matters.
and for the 4, from the commentator's box, you can see that
It's crashed away into the outfield. A good sliding stop, and they'll get 2 more.
I was saying, like the 4 Pranav Chettipalayam hit. As we can see from the commentator's booth, the ball swung. So I'm thinking now, did he slice it? Cause like the ball doesn't swing unless there's wind, or you slice it.
Well, let's see. This is stroked into the covers for no run.
That was a close call. In the air for some time, or a little bit of time.
Okay, so the last ball coming up here in the first over. Once again, you're chasing a total of 146. You already have 6 on the board. This is struck away square, and you might be able to get 2 more here. In fact, they jog very easily. So good, productive start for the KATY Raiders. 8 runs coming from the first over without much fuss. And that is the end of the first. Another 19 to go and another 138 runs to get.
Um, I'm seeing a difference between challengers batting. They did not run; they jogged. But in KATY Raiders, they're running. They're running fast to complete the 2, completing the 1, trying to see if there's a 2, maybe there's a 3, and overthrow it. Maybe they can get 2 more for a 4.
Very interesting observation. And so all of a sudden, you all obviously cannot see what just happened in this booth, but the student has become the teacher and the teacher has become the student. And I'll leave it at that. So the first over yielding 8 runs. What are your thoughts in terms of how they've started out, the KATY Raiders, and what are the chances of winning this game? In other words, if you had a win predictor, where would you put it right now?
Right now, it just started, but I'm giving it 50-50 chance to each. 50-50 chance to each team.
That is the most political answer that I've ever heard in my life. So give me something better than 50-50.
Okay, right now it's leaning towards challengers with like I'm guessing 75-25 because the KATY Raiders just started their innings. So
you jumped from 50
You told me to give me
to 75.
You told me to give you another answer. So what else do I do?
We'll come back to that. Anirudh Bolisetti, who I absolutely love as a fast bowler, taking up the attack from the Massey Ranch Road end. He's bowling to Ryan Bagani. Right arm over the wicket. Very good pace bowler. We saw him in warm-ups. You probably saw this, where there was a single stump on the ground in the outfield, and he was bowling to that stump, and he hit it at least once. So he's bang on target with his accuracy, and you know that he has both the pace and the control to be able to be a handful here in this power play. Oh, looking to... Oh, you appeal for catch, or for LBW rather. And a bunch of excitement, a couple of things happening all at once. But at the end of all of that, umpire Mahesania just signaling that they jogged through for a leg by. Just for a split second, I thought that ball might have ricocheted back onto the stumps.
Like we saw, yeah, Anirudh hit the stumps actually more than once, actually a few times. But he's spot on with his line and definitely with his length. He could bowl a Yorker if he wanted to actually, but hitting length is what he mostly wants to do. But I think he's trying to set up front of Chittipalayam, maybe trying to go in the air to sweeper cover. But Rith is out there. He's known for being a good fielder with a deadly arm. Let's see what happens with this ball.
I think it's interesting that obviously in the power play overs, you have 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. Those 2 fielders are at third man, deep third man, and sweeping on the offside, Rithing as you just referred to. So I'm thinking the line that he's going to bowl, even though that one was too far outside off and called a wide by umpire Mahesania, he's going to stick to that full length and that line outside off and bring those 2 sweepers or those 2 fielders in the deep into play. Bowling to the left-hander from over the wicket as a right-hander is not very easy. And then if there is any swing, that swing would be into the left-hander, which would make it easier to play it away on the onside. So it's going to be very important for him to keep that line outside off, which he does there. Plays out into the deep. That's Ridhinge coming off the boundary. You absolutely said it. He has a really good throwing arm. And
honestly, this is going to be a problem for challengers if they don't get this wicket, even for the umpires as well.
Why would it be challenged for the umpires?
Because there's lefty, righty. The umpires would have to move, but for Rith, it's gonna be tiring for Rith because he has to move from one boundary to the other. And while we're going back to the win predictor, I don't think I can do the win predictor. I don't think I can do a win predictor. That's gone past him. He just stroked that into the gap.
Well, that was number one. That was elegantly played. Off the front foot, Ryan began a confident stride forward and playing into the offside. Number two, if you don't think you can do win predictor, why are you sitting here?
I don't know. I can commentate. I just don't know how to do a win predictor because I don't.
You understand I'm just teasing you, right?
No.
I really was just teasing you.
Oh.
You're perfectly fine.
Oh.
Bolisetti hits that splice of the bat. Really good length, good hard length. Ryan Bagani not able to do anything with that. So, back to what you said about the umpires having to switch from one side to the next. You prefer, as both a batting side and a fielding side, to always have the umpire be at square leg. But sometimes the umpires just say, you know what, I'll just be here at point if there's a single taken.
Yeah. Oh.
Whipped away, what a shot. That is a shot of elegance. I mentioned that he needed to bowl that off-stump line, and he got the off-stump line right to the lefty, Chattapaliam, but here gets it a little too straight to Bagani, and he just easily whips it off of his legs for his Bagani's first four of the day.
Can we call that a shot of an innings right now? Because whipping it away off the pad with Bolisetti's pace, that's hard to do.
I completely agree with you. So several years ago, long before you were born, actually, when I used to play, that used to be my favorite shot. And if the batter got or the bowler got too straight and on my legs, easily four. So, oh, that's a great comeback. Oh, the great comeback delivery, full Yorker length. And somehow it's a mark of a great batter to be able to manufacture a single off of such a good ball. Just bunted down the ground. That is a single in the deep to Aaron Nadkarni. A single that ends the over. 10 runs coming from the over. 18 without loss after 2.
What's surprising me is that Aaron hasn't bowled yet, which is pretty surprising. I thought he would bowl before, and now I thought he would bowl before Bolisetti, but I guess I'm wrong. It looks like Pranav Batad is coming to bowl instead of Viraj Ejner.
I am not surprised, given the way that they've used Aaron Nadkarni for this entire tournament. They use him essentially as an attack dog. In other words, somebody who comes in, hits the deck hard, bowls at pace. Those types of bowlers, it's not uncommon to see them coming in first change, because if you're Bolisetti and you can bowl with pace and you can swing the ball, then generally you're the one who needs to open the bowling. If your primary weapon as a fast bowler is just to bowl quick, generally you see those types of bowlers who come in at first change. So for me, I think that's a good option, because you want to give the bowlers who have the ability to swing the ball most the option to have that ball first. So you're absolutely right. This is Pranav Batad, who's taking up the ball in over the top. No one out there. Down on one stroke, or one leg rather, is Ryan Bagani, and goes over the top of extra cover for yet another 4.
That's a good shot by Ryan. I'm surprised why they didn't bowl Viraj, because Viraj was bowling well. Only 8 against Pranav Chittapaliyam, who was played against many other players or better bowlers. That's good for a 13-year-old.
Lofted down the ground for 6. Ryan Bagani is on a mission. And I'll tell you what, that chase that we thought was kind of a tricky, middling sort of a total, this chase is going to be over within a very short period of time if this pair stays at the wicket for very long.
I was at the KATY Raiders dugout, right? So I just went to go talk to the Darshan and say good job. But while Ryan was padding up, I heard the coach and one of the owners say, Ryan, take some time, okay? Don't finish this in 10, 12 overs.
Better delivery. He did not flight this one noticeably. The first 2 were flighted. This one he pushes through much more quickly, Pranav Batad, because if you flight the ball to a batter like Ryan Bagani, he has the capability and the reach, because he's a pretty tall guy, so he has a pretty long reach to be able to get forward and lop that ball back over everybody's head. So you're going to have to be careful. You end up getting a single there, which is a good outcome. I think it's interesting that you point out that they took off Viraj Edgner to bring on a new bowler. He's been treated very rudely here.
I think Pranav Chittapalli is because it's a off spinner, right? Yeah, so off spinner. I think he's trying to sweep it into the gap because he's an off spinner. He's an off spinner and he wants to just like try to play it before the spin, try to get it in the gap for it too.
I think that's right. Plus, there's nobody in the deep on the leg side.
So like, if they hit in the gap, it could be 4 because there's no do anymore, and I think that's a smart move, but that we didn't think about a few hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a smart move because there's no do, and that's great running. That's great running by Pranav Chittapalli answering Ryan Bagani. But back to that topic, that was smart by KATY Raiders or Captain Arikananta to pick out, because do didn't let them go for 4, but now with no do, there's a lot of runs coming on fours on that deep side.
Interesting. So 31 without loss after 3. So they're starting out at a really fast clip here. They're scoring at the rate of 10.33 runs and over. The required rate, which was just over 7 at the start of the innings, is now down to 6.76. So if you are the batting side, if you're the KATY Raiders, you're very comfortable with the way things have started out. Ryan Bagani 19 from 9 and Pranav Chittapalli 10 from 9. So both have faced an equivalent, in fact, an exact number of balls each. And the more productive of the two batters is Ryan Bagani at this stage. This is Bolisetti again. Lofted down the ground. That's going to be 6. 1, 2 bounces, and it comes off of the wall just right here in front of us. Boy, it is not often that you see Anirudh Bolisetti being driven back over his head for 6. What a strike.
That's a good piece of twofold, maybe in the slot by Bolisetti. And Ryan just hit the ball with sheer power. I think now Ryan is just trying to play it out.
Oh, better delivery.
Pranav Chittapalli.
Oh, I tell you what, Joshua Trump, quick as a flash with the gloves off and throwing at the non-striker's end. Had that hit, that would have been the end of Ryan Bagani's of Pranav Chittapalli's innings. As it is, it ends up being a bye. Boy, I tell you what, if you're Josh Trump, you have to take that chance because you had the option or the opportunity to break that partnership really fortuitously. As it ends up, it didn't happen, but you absolutely had to take that chance. It ended up not working in his favor, but after all of that, a single to the total, and the score now ticking up to 38.
They're going 10 runs and over, maybe even more, but like... Joshua Trump, good throw, but Pranav Chittapalli almost gave his wicket away. I think you're going to want that, and that's a wide. Bolisetti not having a good day today. Getting hit for a 6 and 2 wides in 2 overs.
If I were Bolisetti, the thing that would bother me the most about the last several deliveries is the fact that Captain Joshua Trump is keeping up to the stumps for me.
Yeah.
Number one, that's a great piece of skill by Josh Trump to be able to keep up to a pacer. But for Bolisetti, and I'll tell you more about that after this, it plays into the offside, no single. When I played not only as a batter, as a left-handed batter, but as also a left-arm fast bowler. If I ever got a keeper who was so good that he felt comfortable keeping up to the stumps, to me it felt like an insult, because it feels like, okay, you're not bowling quick enough for me to stand back, so I'll come up to the stumps. So for me, if I'm Bolisetti, I'd almost be offended by the fact that the keeper is comfortable enough keeping up that high or keeping up that close to the stumps.
Pranav Chittapalli, after that one run out chance, I don't think he's like he's not in the right mind anymore. Like, he's not in the right mind anymore. Like, you can see that he's swinging randomly now. He's just throwing his bat somewhere where the ball isn't there. So I think he just has to calm down and wait for the ball to come.
Very interesting. Looking big again, and this is a thick inside edge that will run close to the boundary. Josh Trump sprinting after it, and he slides and does not win the race. The ball wins the race to the boundary, I think. And there is a signal coming from umpire Mahisania. A fortuitous boundary, definite inside edge, but it goes all the way for 4.
But that's great running by Joshua Trump. Getting there almost in pads as well.
Yes.
Almost getting to the ball, which was running really fast the way to the boundary. That's not even luck. It's a lot of skill that needs, like, you have to be really fast just to do that.
Wow.
It's hard to do stuff like that. Like Joshua Trump, Matt Trump, Josh, they're both really outstanding cricketers.
Played through the onside. That's going to run away close to the boundary. They'll get too easily.
They're really good cricketers. Like I don't know who's better, but both of them are like good players in my eyes. And also and one joke that would be taken care of later. Like no need to work anymore. Just sit down, wait. Let the brothers do what they need to do.
Fantastic. So that is the end of the over. You nailed it. They're scoring at over 10 runs and over. In fact, the exact run rate right now is 11.25. The score is 45 without loss.
Just a no out. This is 45 for none. Challengers were 26 for 1. Okay, their partnership is 45 off 26 balls. Not even a
Keep talking. Come back and say something else.
But just like Ryan taking the charge, Pranav Chittapalli almost got run out, but he's back in his clean mind. Both like he was angry because he wasn't connecting the ball, but like both of them are now set. Both of them had great innings. All 4 innings, most of them were good. Actually, all of them were good last week. And now Arun Carney coming into bowl.
Well, you asked for him, and now you have him.
He's gonna hit the deck hard.
Who I refer to as the attack dog. I expect him to come in and hit the deck hard. There is a man deep square leg. I expect him to come into play. That's also the larger side of the field. I also noticed that there is a sweeper on the offside. So that length that he's going to be bowling is not going to be full. He's going to be bringing the 2 sweepers into play. So I'm expecting short of a length. There's a short ball, and it's lofted down the ground. Look at that stroke. And it goes all the way for 6. So I mentioned about the reach that Ryan Bagani has. That was a short delivery. And he struck that off the back foot back over the bowler's head for 6. That is not an easy shot to play. And I'll tell you what, that's going to end up.
That's a 51-run partnership.
That is the 50 partnership that comes up. 1 delivery from your attack dog that goes back over his head for 6 is not what you had in mind if you're the challengers.
One thing in practice, right? So junior kids like U13 have side-on practice with like U17, U15.
Come back to that in just a second. Looking to go big again, and this time he loses his shape as he's looking to pull that down the leg side, and a dot ball.
So we have we have team practice, U13, U15, U17, right? MSCA. So when Ryan is batting, Arun and Ryan are gonna have one rivalry. If Arun's batting, Arun are gonna have a rivalry. These 2 are close friends, but they're also rivals. So they're gonna get better on each other.
If you notice the change, this is in the air, does not carry to short extra cover. They run for a single. But the change I was referring to is that the sweeper who was deep on the offside is now inside the circle, and mid on has dropped back to long on. That's the change to Bagani. So let's see what sort of field is set to the left-handed Chatapaliam.
He has a deep, deep square leg, sweeper, and that's it. Those are the two fielders out.
So he is going to, I think, persist with that short length to the left-hander, whereas I think he's going to be a little fuller and straighter to the right-handed Bagani.
Yeah, he's gonna have a short fine leg / square leg. I don't know how to find that position. Some of these positions are weird. Like, what's silly point?
I guarantee you're not going to see a silly point today.
Or what's short leg?
You won't see a silly point. You won't see a short leg. Not in a T20.
Or what's cow corner? Cow corner?
Cow corner is pretty straightforward. We'll talk about that in a minute. Lofted down the ground. So the field is set for short bowling, but this one is too full. So if you're going to set that type of field, you have to bowl a shorter length than what you're bowling here. You've given Chetapaliam the opportunity to come forward and just stroke that down the ground for 4. So the big fast bowler, Aaron Nadkarni, is not exactly getting the results that he was looking for. He's already gone for 11 in this, his first over, with still 2 balls to come. Here he is again. There's a short ball, top edge. He's going to take it himself, Nadkarni. What a great comeback. So you set the field for short bowling. You finally bowl a type of delivery that justifies the field that you've set. And you've gotten a top edge that results in the first wicket of the innings. Pranav Chetapaliam goes 20 for 14. And the KATY Raiders are 56 for 1.
That's smart bowling by Ryan. Not lying. Not Ryan. Aaron. Bowling it a little shorter this time. Or no, way shorter actually. Bowling it up here. But that rivalry still continues on the field. Aaron and Ryan. But who's coming in next? Arya Kananta, the captain, is coming in next.
Arya Kananta's coming in. But going back to Aaron Nadkarni. Once you set the field, a field that requires for you to bowl short, because the two fielders who are outside of the circle are both square on the offside, both on the offside and on the leg side, both square. With that type of field, obviously inside the power play, mid-on and mid-off are going to be inside the circle, so you cannot bowl anything full for them to drive you down the ground. So he made the mistake, Aaron Nadkarni, in bowling a couple too short, but then remembered who he was as a bowler and what role he's playing, and that next delivery was short. It had venom, and it ended up, and you pointed it out, I saw you do this off camera, that short ball was up around the face of the batter, Chetapaliam, and that's the type of delivery that results in the top edge that takes a wicket. So if you are Aaron Nadkarni, to me it's just as simple as remembering to bowl to your field and to make sure that what happens at the wicket is a result of what you want to have happen and not have it be as any mistakes that you make.
Yeah. Under pressure, but Aaron and him are great friends, but
Oh, this is like a slower delivery and half-hearted appeal. Not exactly sure what they were appealing for. Potentially LBW, but a good over eventually by Nadkarni. Gives up 11 runs, which is much more than he'd want to concede, but he does take a wicket to break the opening partnership. So that is the end of 5. At the end of 5, the score is 56 for 1.
going back to Arya. Arya, he's really good. Can do anything under pressure. He can open, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, right? One opening, aggressive opener. 1 down, can maintain. He can anchor. 2 down, he can play any top order position. That's how good he is. And he also bowls everything and left arm as well. So he's a amazing cricketer all around.
I want to know what Mr. Sudhir Kananta has paid you to say everything that you just said about Arya. I'm really
He has paid
interested.
me nothing. Nothing.
I'm gonna have to talk to Sudhir after this match, because if it's that easy to get you to say something good about somebody's son, then maybe I should get my son playing cricket again, and we'll talk about what that would cost. Here's Bolisetti. Oh my goodness, Ryan Bagani looking to hit another six right in this direction. Misses out on that ball outside off.
Honestly, that's way too full, and he isn't but like from what I see on the screen and on the field, that he isn't bowling as fast as he was, and it's a little wider, so Ryan is easier to hit for him.
Bolisetti again. Oh, good line. Had him fishing this time, looking to play defensively. The first defensive shot that I can remember seeing Ryan Bagani play, but it does go past the outside edge. So good start to the over, his third over by Anirudh Bolisetti.
Anirudh doing well. Now Joshua Trump's coming in, because, like you said, it might be an insult to you, but it might be an insult to you, but to Anirudh, I don't know. He probably doesn't care, because he's focused on getting Ryan out, because that's the main person you want to get out right now. Because now he's swinging. He's like a, how do I say this? A roaring T-Rex, a roaring T-Rex.
I love it.
But doesn't have any control over himself.
I absolutely love it. Roaring T-Rex.
He doesn't have any control over himself, so he just needs to get back into the line and stuff.
So welcome back to Jurassic Park here in Pearland, Texas. Played into the offside for a quick single. Roaring T-Rex. I'm going to have to find ways to work that phrase into more commentary. I really appreciate it.
Because Roaring Tiger is not as good as you can get with Ryan.
So
A roaring
it's
lion.
beyond tigers, beyond tiger and lion status. Yeah, so you go all the way to the Jurassic period of 65 million years ago.
Yes,
I like
yeah. Or you can just go to, like, an exceptional player. You can just go Roaring God.
Roaring God.
If he's exceptional.
We went all the way to God. We jumped from a T-Rex to a
God.
deity. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not exactly sure how to respond to that. But in the meantime, 2 balls remaining here in the 6th in the power play.
Honestly, they were 146 and 20. Now they're 89 and 14.2. They've caught up, actually.
Well, just look at the way things are right now. So 1 ball remaining. The score as of right now, they are at 57. At this 1 ball left inside the power play, 1 ball left here in the 6th. At this same stage of the innings, the challengers were at 48. So it'll be interesting to see if they maintain that pace ahead of where the challengers were. And this is defended. They look for a quick single, and they'll get one to mid-wicket.
They're playing to, like, some of the fielders that, like, they see that they're not walking in. They're, like their feet are steady like this. They're, like, planted. Their feet are implanted. Like, they're not moving, so they're not expected to get the ball. So I think they're just trying to find those players, or just have that right ball, smack it for 6 or 4. But if they don't get that, they're just going to play those runs to those type of fielders.
So I think you said it earlier. The KATY Raiders are looking more aggressive running between the wickets. And even though, for the most part, the bowling has not necessarily been terrible, but they're able to score pretty aggressively. First, because of Ryan Bagani, 33 from 18, and he was helped by Chattapaliam earlier on in the innings, even though he perished to a short ball bowled by Aaron Nadkarni. Nadkarni again with the ball in his hands, and he'll be bowling now to Arya Kananta, the man whose father obviously paid a serious amount of money to young Ishan Malpani.
He did not. He did not. He did not.
To sing his praises for a good 30 seconds earlier on. So just a quick reset after this delivery. And pulling out of his run-up. So that gives us time to reset. What we're looking at here is another 88 runs needed, 14 overs in which to get them. So the required rate is 6.29 and over. They're currently scoring at the rate, the KATY Raiders, of 9.67 runs and over. So they're well and truly ahead in terms of the run chase. Normal cricket, you would think from here, would get them the victory. Oh, this is flashed away and it's going to get close to the boundary. Long sprint by that fielder, deep third man, and he does well. I'll tell you what, though, for you young cricketers, sprinting across the outfield and stopping the ball from reaching the boundary with your foot looks pretty, but the last thing that you want to do is to step on a cricket ball when you do that. If you do that, you know what would happen. You tell me.
You can twist your ankle or you can roll it on the ball.
Would you like to know what happened to young Brian Walters trying that several years ago? Short delivery and played into the offside for a single. Do you know what happened when I tried that, maybe 30 or so years ago?
No, we don't.
I stepped on the ball and broke my ankle. So every opportunity that I get to tell this to a young cricketer, I say, don't do what I did. Slide on the ground and use your hands to stop the ball from reaching the boundary. Don't run across and try to use your foot because it's extremely easy to mistime your step and actually step on the ball. And if you do that at full sprint, it is almost guaranteed that you will hurt yourself. In my case, I broke my ankle. I never, ever missed the opportunity to tell you youngsters. So if you never learned anything else from me the entire time I'm here, learn that.
I agree. Like, you shouldn't step on a ball either way because it's not nice just to do that, technically, or to the ball or to the game of cricket. So never step on the ball to the game of cricket or to hurt yourself.
Completely. Plus, you have more options when you slide to prevent a ball from hitting the boundary. If you're sliding with your hand, then you have the opportunity to maybe flick the ball back. Obviously, you have more control with your hands than with your feet, so it's easier to potentially do that. Okay, so this is played into the covers for a single. Tell everyone what happened to you and why are you holding your thumb at an awkward angle.
Last week I was playing a game, and I tried for a diving catch, and I hit my thumb. And then yesterday, a machine was bowling or somebody was bowling, and it hit my thumb when I was trying to defend it off a bouncer.
So you don't remember if it was a machine or a person?
Because we were having like a power hitting session, but he bowled a bouncer, so I couldn't do anything about it.
Interesting. Power hitting session. So for those of us who grew up playing cricket several years ago where we didn't have specialized coaching, tell me about your coaching sessions and what is a power hitting session? What does that look like?
Well, it's not technically a power hitting session. It's like power hitting session, like with.
Oh, look at this! Look, let me pause you for just a second. A couple of interesting things just happened. A short ball that went flying by, attempted pull was missed, but then the ball missed Joshua Trump and hit the helmet. So watch the umpires here because I think you're about to see 5 penalty runs awarded. Keep an eye on umpire Mahesania because it happened at his end. And watch the signal. No apparent signal yet.
Huh? It hit the helmet.
The ball smacked into the helmet. No signal yet.
But he's calling on his walkie-talkie.
He may be discussing with. There is a signal. 5 penalty runs. In fact, One umpire signaling 5 penalty runs, the other umpire signaling 1 short. So they're going to need to work that out. Once again, for you youngsters, the signal for 5 penalty runs, and I'll say it after this delivery, the signal for 5 penalty runs is your palm on one hand touching the shoulder of the opposite hand. So if you're tapping with your left hand, you're tapping your right shoulder. That's 5 penalty runs. If you tap the shoulder on the same hand as on the same side as the hand with which you're tapping, that signals 1 short. So for the scorers, you have to get that right. Otherwise, there's a 6-run difference in between the two eventualities. And that's something I think that the umpires are going to have to clean up for themselves. But at the end of all of that, it is 5 penalty runs and then a single taken. So a very eventful 7th over. A lot to clean up. But at the end of all of that, those 5 penalty runs make, in fact, for me, that's the first time that this happened in this tournament. And that is the end of the over. I believe that will be 70 for 1 at the end of 6. Make that at the end of 7.
They're going at 10 runs and over. Really hurts when you just hit that part.
One umpire is doing this and the other umpire.
That's crazy.
You kind of have to know the rules. Those are 2 completely different signals.
Yeah, but it hurts when I just tap it. I don't know why.
Yeah, you should bandage it. Yeah. Okay, so an eventful 7th over, 11 runs coming from it, 5 of them from 5 penalty runs where the ball hit the helmet on the ground. That short delivery evading the attempted dive by Joshua Trump, the keeper, and going and striking that helmet. You don't see that happen very often. Anyway, this is Viraj Ejner back into the attack. Lofted down the ground. It's going to be a single to, I believe that's Aaron Nadkarni out there at long off.
I think he's going to give strike to Arya now, right? So, because Arya is better at playing sweeps and reverse sweeps against leg spinners. And I don't think the challengers know that because their whole square is so close that if he just hits it through the gap, it can go through.
So looking to sweep this down the leg side, see what umpire Maisanya calls. Okay, does not call anything, which means that it came off an under edge. And they run through for a double.
No.
Nope, just a single.
Just
My apologies.
yeah.
So that brings Ryan Bagani back on strike. Ryan Bagani has been quiet for a while. 36 from 21. Tossed up. Oh, that's going to go down to Nadkarni, and he dives forward, and 9 times out of 10 would have taken that catch. This time it spills out. He's really upset that he dropped that, and by his high standards, you would think that's one that he would have taken.
Me looking at the Raiders camp, or Raiders, whatever it's called, box thingy, locker room, I see Coach Neeraj mad because he wants Ryan to stay through. He wants Arya to stay through. But Ryan giving that chance may open up the game.
Struck in the gap towards the... Oh, my goodness. That's a misfield on the boundary. And it goes for 4. Young Ishan Malpani cannot control himself. He wants to step all over me because of how exciting that 4 was. And that 4 came across because of a misfield out on the boundary.
I'm not trying to talk over you. It was just funny because he was right there. He was right there, and because he didn't stop properly, he stopped on his side of his foot. He slipped and the ball went through his hands for 4. That what made it so funny because he was right there, and he just slipped and it went through his hands. That's what made it so funny for me.
You are enjoying this a little too much. Played back to Edgener himself. And boy, I wish we had a camera that was able to catch that action out there, because I now understand exactly why young Mr. Mapani is laughing. This is defended to extra cover for a single to close things out in the eighth. 8 runs coming from the over. The score is now 77 for 1.
I'm gonna show you how. So he's running. He's running, right? He's supposed to like. He slips like this, and the ball goes on top of his hand. But not to mention, they're actually really close at the 8th over. They're really close at the 8th over. 77 for 1 in the 8th over. This was not how it was like for the challengers. They were like 50 some. But
You're exactly right.
they're so close. They just need like 50 more runs to win, 70
But
more runs to win, actually.
Understand, now they only need 69 more runs to win, but understand that when the challengers batted, they slowed down tremendously towards the back end of their innings. So at this stage of the innings, they were going great guns. But even then, at this stage, after 8 overs, the challengers had 65 runs. The KATY Raiders have 77. And not only are they ahead of the pace where the challengers were, but at the same time, the challengers slowed down so much at the back end of their innings that it just emphasizes the point that the KATY Raiders are so far ahead in this game the way that they are right now, that it's going to take a tremendous effort by the challengers to get back into this game.
This shows how good, like, I was talking about in the break, right? How the KATY Raiders are, like, during the strategic timeout, how the KATY Raiders have the guns to fire back. They have Arya Kanata and Ryan Bagani in the house. So they have all the means to go.
This is Rit Hinge, who did yeoman's work with the bats, but now he's being asked to break this partnership. This partnership motoring right along is now worth 22 runs.
21.
21 runs. I did that math in my head for you youngsters. I didn't exactly see exactly where you're getting your information from, but Rit Hinge, this is driven down the ground for a single. Just for a split second, thought about going for that second run, but it was never realistically on.
Like, Rittinge is fast. He can bowl 130 clicks, but I'm saying he can bowl 130 clicks on a good day.
130.
Yes.
Come
on a good day, on like a really good day.
Oh, what a great shot! Just opens the face. This is going to be 4. Hold on, this is going to be pulling it back just in front of the boundary, a deep third man. Now let's get back to you saying that Rit Hinge bowls 130 kilometers per hour.
That was once.
I don't believe you.
That was once.
There are Mitchell Stark doesn't. Mitchell Stark bowls maybe 135. On a good day, he bowls 140. You're saying that Rit Hinge, Kimar Roach bowls 125. You're saying that Rit Hinge is faster than Kimar Roach. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying that he only bowled out once. that was a really good day. He didn't bat well. He was super rested. We were timing speed. He bowled 130 clicks.
Whatever Rit Hinge's father paid you, I'm going to ask him to get a refund, because there's no way anybody is going to believe you. I am sorry. I hate to disagree with you. He's not bowling 130. He's a great bowler, a great all-rounder. He's not bowling 130. I'm just telling you.
But, he's fast, but showing Joshua Trump standing up, his wrist is tired and he's not bowling as fast as he can.
Okay, I'll buy that. That I'll buy. 130, I'm not going to buy. I'm sorry. Oh, this is lazy. This is lazy, and it has resulted in a run out. Oh, you play the ball directly to backward point and take off running and really take off jogging, not running very fast. That is a big, big wicket. Arya Kananta is taking his helmet off and looking in frustration because The run out has just occurred. Ryan Bagani is walking back to the pavilion.
Yeah, Shrimon has come to bat. And my mic was off the whole time we were talking.
Was it really?
I just turned it back on, but what I said was like once not Ryan. Rith has once bowled 130 Ks, but like
There is a reason why your mic was off for that. You do realize that, right?
no, I actually didn't know my mic is off.
What I'm saying is there is a reason why it was off, because no one would have believed you if you'd said what you said with your mic on. So the gods that you referred to earlier just turned your mic off. So, Mr. Ramji, I would like your opinion as to what was expressed by our young analyst here, who is attempting to convince me that Rit Hinge bowls at 130 kilometers per hour. What are your thoughts?
That was once.
130 or 113?
I
can give you the benefit of doubt still, okay? So if you're saying 113, probably.
I said 113. I didn't say
Okay, you
130.
You said 130.
I said 113. I said 130.
Nevertheless, I mean, he got the breakthrough at the right time for the challengers. Is the game still open? Yeah, I think the asking rate is only 5.73. 63 runs needed from 11 overs. Ritz, we need probably a few more of those wickets from you to be actually a game changer of this match.
Expert analysis by Ramji Subramaniam. Hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. So getting back to our junior analyst. Somehow you're now going to try to convince me that what you've been saying for the last 10 minutes was 113 and not 130. Yes. I have bad eyesight, all right? My ears work perfectly well. I'm just telling you that right now. So, I know what I heard you say.
I said
10 different
113.
times, even with your
113.
mic off. So you can try to change it all. You know what? Afterwards, we'll go back and we'll listen to the YouTube feed and we'll point out the number of times that you said 130. Looking to sweep. Not going to be given. This is Pranav Batad, who is into the attack. 1 over so far, gave up 13, but starts out this over with the dot ball.
That run out just might have opened the game for them. Because Ryan, Arya were going good. Oh, they're doing the same thing again.
Oh!
They're gonna open up the game with Arya and Ryan there. Ryan got out because of Arya's bad calling, and then Arya got out because he's calling bad again. He's running to the when the fielder's throwing.
I'll tell you what, had Batad released that ball and not tried to field it to give it a chance to hit directly, had that been a direct hit coming in from the covers, that may well have been another run out. Tossed up, and this time a pretty easy single down the ground as Aaron Nadkarni comes off of the ropes at mid-on to do the cleanup. $85 for 2. We are halfway through the 10th inning. I'm sorry, the 10th over. And another 61 runs needed for victory by the KATY Raiders. There's a reverse sweep that you call for. And a half-hearted appeal. I'll tell you what, the reverse sweep, if you have that shot in your armor, it's not a bad option with backward point and gully in position and then no one behind them. So if you get a good connection, that's going to be 4. And he plays in that direction, but straight to mid-off or straight to a backward point, they run through for a quick single. Appeal for a run out not given. So little by little, you're starting to see maybe a few cracks appear in the armor of the KATY Raiders. I think they still have this game well and truly in hand, but just a bit of raggedness appearing in their outfit at the moment. Here's the last ball of the 10th. And this is a more conventional looking shot to the off spinner. Just playing it off his pads into the leg side. And that is a single that closes out a bit of an eventful over. 4 runs coming from it. At the end of 10, we're halfway through in terms of overs. We're well past the halfway point in terms of the required score. The score is 87 for 2. Welcome back to Moosa Cricket Stadium, the Turmeric Spring Super Edition HYPL 2023. This is lofted in the air over the top of mid-wicket. They'll get 2. This is Rit Hinga to continue bowling from the Pearland end. And his first ball lofted down the ground for a couple. So I said it a couple minutes ago, the chase, I think, is still well and truly in control by the KATY Raiders. And the challengers are really going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat to get the victory here. And this is stroked. Oh, my goodness. That's off of the stumps at the non-strikers end. Didn't come off the hand of Hingis. So certainly from that standpoint, nobody's out. But I think you took away a potential scoring opportunity there from your partner. So the required rate under 6, so they need under a run a ball. This is worked around the corner on the leg side. This should be an easy 2. And a good strong throw coming back to the keeper's end, but still another 2. So where we are now, 55 runs needed, 57 balls in which to get them. So singles, by definition, would be the easiest or most straightforward way of winning this game if you're the KATY Raiders. If you're the challengers, you need wickets. You absolutely need wickets. And the way that you get wickets is bowl good balls to build, have a few dot balls to build up some pressure. That helps. So every time you get a dot ball, it helps in the process of building pressure. And then from there, potentially, is where your wickets would come from.
You can see that Vyas and Arya were running really hard. The ball where they got 2 and like the second 2 that they got in the over.
More of the same. Good line, good length, played into the offside for no run.
You can see that the field came in now.
And then look at that. Exactly with those 2 dot balls, we're now exactly even with the number of balls and the number of runs remaining. So the scoring rates or the required rate is exactly 6. You have 55 runs needed and 55 balls remaining. So then it becomes incumbent on the batting side, Arya Kanantha captain and Vyas Sriman, to be able to recognize the situation and know that you still need to manufacture singles. You don't want to start having pressure build up because, as I said earlier, pressure is where wickets come from. And this is going to be a single to mid-on. Aaron Nadkarni is the one who cleans up there. So a successful over. Only 5 runs coming from it. And that one over results in the required rate now being exactly even A runner ball is what they need from here, the KATY Raiders, to be able to take victory. We'll be right back. $92 for 2 after 11. VS Riemann 7 from 9. There's a sweep coming out, going to Joshua Trump. He's the one who is so athletic behind the stumps, but not even he can prevent that single.
Honestly, I just want KATY Raiders to finish the game. I'm not being biased, but I just want to eat some food.
That is also not one of the predictors that we use. Stroke down the ground. So doing it in singles right now are the KATY Raiders. And the singles, as I said, will be more than enough to win this game. In fact, if you do it in singles, if every ball the rest of the way is hit for a single, then they will achieve victory on the very last delivery of the innings. Tossed up. Once again, singles.
Me guessing about what their plan is. At least get 1-2. At least get 1-2 every over. So they're just ahead of the run rate.
I don't think that's. You're not wrong about that at all. What's more important, though, is that they don't have any dot balls build up like that. So every time a dot ball happens, for the first time that I can remember in a while, the required rate now is above 6. It's now 6.12. So just be cognizant that you need to keep scoring. Oh, appeal for a catch. Not given. Joshua Trump immediately going up. He could have sworn that that was an edge. But Altaf Mahisanya is a very, very good umpire. And he's not going to give that decision unless he's sure that it was not, unless he's sure that it came off the edge. And clearly he was not of the opinion that it did. Oh, outside edge. This is a moral victory for the bowlers, but 2 more runs for the batting side. And boy, a groan of disappointment for Pranav Batad. His over ends with a double down to very fine third man. And that is the end of the over. The score is 97 for 2.
They need a 4. They need 1-4.
Run a ball. They'd be uncomfortable doing it with a runner ball, but a runner ball can win this. If the required rate is 7.5, then you start thinking, okay, maybe we need a 4. But from here, they can do it with 1.
I think I did better commentary this innings than last week.
It's like anything else, the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel and the better you are.
Yeah.
Plus, you're doing a much better job of not being a fan and actually commentating, which is excellent.
I think I did better in like being I think I'm analyzing much better.
I completely agree with you. Okay, ready again?
I'm letting you do Moosa.
Welcome back to the almost said Prairie View to Pearland, to the Moosa Cricket Stadium. Not many people know this, but Moosa is one of 2 ICC certified facilities in the United States of America. And it is the hosting location for the Houston Youth Premier League, the 5th edition. This is the Turmeric Spring Super Edition HYPL 2023. This is Viraj Edgener, who is into his 3rd over. 2.3 overs so far, none for 16. And so far he's being asked to continue tightening the screws. And look at that required rate now sneaking upward. It's now up to 6.53. Off the back foot in the air. Whoa, look at this. Potential run out opportunities missed. And now they're going to get overthrows. In fact, 4 of them. So 5 runs. Oh, that is disappointing. Could potentially have gotten a wicket there. Because indifferent running by this pair, via Sriman and Arya Kananta, I think that certainly could have been a run-out opportunity at either end. But it results in 4 overthrows in addition to the 1 run. Now, the umpires are talking. It may come down to whether or not the batters crossed before the overthrow happened.
The batsman did cross before the overthrows.
So looking at the umpires to see exactly what the
Five
okay,
runs.
there's a signal
There's
coming
signal
from
for
umpire
5 runs.
Maisani. He's not signaling by, he's signaling 5 runs. So that is a 5, and that incidentally brings up the 100. So that is 102 on the board. Just another 44 runs to go. Pushing this one through more quickly, Viraj Edgner, but it's pulled into the deep. It's going to be close to the boundary. They get 2. Throw coming back into the non-striker's end. So all of a sudden, they were tied down a couple of overs, but runs are now flowing at let's say, a more easy pace. 7 from the over so far with 1 ball remaining.
They're actually ahead.
Make that 2 balls remaining. My apologies.
They're ahead. They're way ahead. 42 off 7.2.
Certainly ahead. The question to be asked is
Will
what's
they
that?
stay ahead?
Right. Plus, what's the required rate? The required rate itself started out this over in above 6. It's now down to 5.8. This is a full toss that's clipped behind square. Joshua Trump after it. Fielder coming in off the deep backward square boundary, but 2 more. So this is good running between the wickets, good awareness by these 2, Arya Kananta and V.S. Sriman. Score now up to 106 for 2 with 1 ball remaining here in the 13th. So in 43 balls, they need 41 runs. Make that 40 runs. And how does this over end? Stroke through the covers, at least 2 more.
I think they're just going to go for
In fact, jogging through for the second one. That
So-
is yet another very productive over.
Honestly, for me, I would have taken the 1 so Arya could have been on strike. Because Arya's been dealing the most damage right now.
I think if they were chasing 9, 10, 11 runs and over, what you just said would apply. But with the required rate being under 6, it's just a matter, I think, of just making sure that you keep the scoreboard ticking.
We're so close to food. Only 7 more overs.
We're so close to food.
7 more overs until we know the turnout, or even less, and food.
7.
I think both of us know why we want food. We're both really hungry.
So in the 7 overs that we have remaining, 7 overs meaning 42 balls, you need another 38 runs. You have complained before that your win predictor does not work. I'm going to force you to make your win predictor work for the purposes of giving me 2 numbers. Actually, it's 1 number. What does your win predictor say, and then who does it point toward?
My win predictor says 62 and 33. 62 to KATY Raiders and 33 to Challengers.
So who's the third team?
Huh?
Because 62 and 33 add up to 95. So obviously there's a third team in there somewhere that you're expecting to play a part.
No. 62 and 33. Oh, no, I mean 67. I meant 67 and 33. I did my math wrong in my head.
Clearly. But the fact that you're able to recognize it is good. So 109 for 2 is what the score is now. Make
110.
that, I apologize, 110. Pranav Batad back into the attack. So bowling an all spin attack at this stage.
Now I have one question.
What's that?
So after this ball, so us from the commentator box
Mhm.
can see the camera, but I don't know how the camera's moving in or out, because like who's controlling the camera?
So that question is outside the scope of our job at the moment. So let's just focus on describing the game. This is knocked in the air. For a while, it seemed like short extra cover might have a chance to catch that, but it's just another single. So 4 runs from the over so far.
That was actually an okay over. 34. Actually, wait. No, 2 over. 2 balls left. Yeah, so this is going to be a really productive over for the KATY Raiders.
Oh, swept. Oh, in fact, it's down the leg side. It may be 5 wides. Pulled back just inside of the boundary rope. So it's not going to be 5, but I
That'll
think
be
they
4
ran
wides.
3. So watching umpire Maesanya, there's your signal. So that is 4 runs to the total. And you still have another ball that you need to have. In fact, another 2 balls that you need to bowl here.
This is honestly really productive, actually.
Very much so.
And now we see Arya wearing a cap, no helmet.
Well, it's been 2 spinners in tandem for a while. Oh, good delivery. Half-hearted appeal for LBW. That was more out of aspiration than reality, I think.
I think they're just trying to find one little bit that the umpire can just raise his finger.
Well, that works with umpires who don't know what they're doing. Umpire Mahisanya is not one of those. He is one of the better umpires that you'll find anywhere around. Umpires regularly for the minor league games. And thick under edge.
That would be the end of the 14th over, 29 and 36.
So we're back here for the last 6 overs. We don't know whether or not the match is going to go all 6. If I were a betting man, I'd say this would be finished sometime in the 19th over.
That over just made my run predictor go up by 3. And minus 70.
It's now 70 to 30.
Well, I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I don't disagree. I think it's certainly the case. The KATY Raiders are the ones on top here. This is Rit Hinge coming back in. Rit Hinge, don't know if you all heard, bowls at 133 kilometers per hour.
Exaggerating. He goes like 115. When he's not tired.
When he's not tired. But he starts out well here with a dot ball. That required a rate down to 4.97. Short, and that's a bad line. It goes down the leg side. They'll run at least 3, I would think. A good sliding attempt in the deep, and it goes over the rope. He had it covered, slid to stop it from going for 4, and then in the process of picking it up, happened to caress it over the rope.
How does that happen?
So
You have the ball in your hand, And when you get up, when you're picking it up, it jiggles through your hand and goes to the boundary.
So, for those of you who are joining us late, our young commentator Ishan Malpani is having all kinds of fun here in the commentators area. Appeal for LBW, and he's given him.
No way.
I'll tell you what, umpire Sujit Gupta having a good think and then deciding that that ball was going to crash into middle and leg. What you like to see from the umpires is for them to deliberate over their decisions. So you like the fact that he took a couple of seconds and then gave the decision. So that is the end of Bias Sriman. LBW 16 from 18. And the score is now 121 for 3.
The win predictor changed. Another wicket has fallen. It's back to 65-35. I mean,
65-35.
because a wicket went down, it's hard to recover.
Your reasoning for me is exactly accurate. I think at the fall of a wicket that breaks an ongoing partnership, you expect for there to be a bit of enthusiasm shown by the bowling side. It sets the batting side back a bit, so I think it's certainly likely under those circumstances that the win predictor would swing back in the direction of the team that's defending. I think you're exactly right. It's still comfortably in the hands of the KATY Raiders that required a rate now 4.55. So even with the fall of a wicket, you still are in control of the chase. So from that standpoint, it's not going to be easy. But, you take these victories as you can get them. Victories meaning the little battles during the process of the entire match. And this little battle has gone the way of the challengers.
There's always a lot of mini battles in cricket, but the game, you always want to win the war at the end, just win the game at the end.
Completely.
Darshan Haribabu, one of an exciting youngsters coming back up to bat, and bowling, taking a few dots, might set Arya back because he's used to now taking runs with Vyas, but Darshan just came in. 25 off 5.2.
Which is perfectly fine. 25 from 32 balls. Still more than doable. Rit Hinge stroking this one into the extra cover region for no run. So kudos to the challengers, by the way. So notice how they've brought all of their fielders in on the offside where they're saving one. No one is in the deep. Nobody is even, in fact, only one fielder at conventional cover is on the circle. Everyone else stopping one, and only one fielder outside the circle down the deep backward square. So another dot ball, 3 consecutive dot balls. I think good bowling and good fielding. That is the end of the 15th over. Just the last 5 remaining, and the 25 runs needed means that anybody can do that math. 5 runs per over the rest of the way. And the score is 121 for 3. $121 for 3 after 15. Arya Kanantha, captain, is on 28 from 29. Darshan Haribabu faced 3 deliveries, has yet to score a run. In the big picture, only 5 runs and over needed from here for the KATY Raiders to find themselves on the winner's podium. And this is Aaron Nadkarni, who's brought back into the attack, this time bowling from the Massey Ranch Road end. And he will be bowling to Darshan Haribabu. First delivery shortish and played into the offside. There's a sweeper in the deep. That is Rithinge coming off of the fence to make sure that only one run is scored. But when you're chasing less than a run a ball, then each single makes it easier for you to get to where you're going. Not just from the standpoint of one less run needing to be scored, but the overall run rate decreases with each single if the required rate is less than 6. So here we are again. Nadkarni looking his best here to take a wicket. Short of a length and going down the leg side. This is played down to deep backward square. So 2 balls bowled, 2 singles. That required rate is now all the way down to 4.93. Ishan, what are your predictions from here? Not necessarily with the win predictor, but what do you think is going to happen from here?
From here, I think Darshan, at this point, it just needs to get Arya on strike. Arya can do the big hitting, or he can just take the singles. But anything's fine at this point. If it gets worse, then Arya needs to be on strike for, because they only have 3 wickets down. If, it gets to 15 off 1 over, but it shouldn't go to that, but 15 off 1 over, they can just get Arya on strike.
They need 23 from the next 4 overs and 2 balls, so I think they're fine. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh! Absolute brainless running. Played directly to backward point and taking off for a run was Arya Kanantha. And he pays the price for his misjudgment. For some reason, looking to be ultra aggressive, looking to take off running after hitting the ball directly to backward point. And that's good fielding, a quick pick up and throw back to the keeper's end. And Joshua Trump cleaning up and doing the rest, knocking those bails off. And that is the 4th wicket that goes down. All of a sudden, this train that seemed to be very easily cruising into the station is all of a sudden starting to sputter.
I don't disagree, but win predictor gotta change. Wins predictor gotta change every wicket. 60-40.
60-40 is certainly not unreasonable. I think because it is the captain who was just dismissed, and when you dismiss the captain, essentially you cut the head off the snake, so to speak. I would think 58-42-ish feels about right.
Yeah.
But still, comfortably, I think the Raiders are going to, or should win this. Tell you what, the Raiders better win this from here.
But the thing is, 4 wickets down now. Nobody was expecting this. Nobody was expecting to Arya be a brainless bird in this chicken fight. So let's see what happens.
Your analogies blow me away. I have to tell you. We've spoken about chickens. We've spoken about gods. We've spoken about T-Rexes for some reason.
But they should completely win this game easily.
Well, Shiv Shani at the wicket alongside Darshan Haribabu. These two just need to remind themselves what they are and what their role is. Right now, their role is to get singles. So that huge square cut that was just being attempted by Shiv Shani is not necessary. All you need to do is to get singles. And if you get singles, and particularly with the right-hander Aaron Nadkarni bowling around the wicket to you, it's much easier to get inside of the line of the ball, and there is nobody behind square on the leg side. You have acres of space. There's things that you can do to manufacture singles. This is struck down the ground. Look at this! Another run out! Now we're being suicidal. Struck the ball directly to mid-off, took off running, and I'll tell you what, either end, had that throw gone to either end, it would have resulted in a wicket because both batters were basically crossing each other in the middle of the pitch. Another wicket falls. The score is now 123 for 5.
Win predictors gotta change. It's 50-50. It's 50-50 at this point. 50-50, anything can go in either way. Either way.
I don't disagree with you. And it is really mystifying that all of a sudden the KATY Raiders are collapsing as badly as they are. 123 for 5. Half the side is out.
But the thing is, if Challengers win, they still need one more to go to the finals. If KATY Raiders lose, they need to win one more game to go to the finals. Either way, if KATY Raiders wins, because Soham Matam, he can hit big, but because they were thinking in his mindset, they were like telling him, go big. That's what I'm thinking. Like, go big. We don't want to play another game full hard on. So let just go do your business, win the game. We can chill next game. I'm guessing, but like
Sure.
Challengers, if they win this game, they're gonna be tired out for the next game because they need to win another game as well to go to the finals.
Wow. Aaron Nadkarni with the ball in hand. What does he have in store? Worked around the corner. This is going to be at least 2. Long run for that fielder, deep backward square. And that is 2 runs to close things out in the 16th. 4 runs coming from that over and 2 wickets. So the Challengers are trying to claw their way back into this match. The KATY Raiders all of a sudden are sputtering and stuttering. But the big picture, only 21 runs needed from 24 balls. So do they have the opportunity to simply settle the ship and just make sure that they do proper or make proper cricketing, intelligent cricketing decisions to be able to get over the finish line?
That was not intelligent. That over. No. Those 2 batsmen that got out, Arya being a brainless bird, and Shiv Shani, I don't even know what he was doing. See, I'm criticizing Arya. See, I'm proving my point that he did not pay me.
Wow. So Rit Hingate has the ball in his hand again. 3 overs, 1 for 15. Let's see if he can release some more of these 133 kilometer per hour thunderbolts.
It's 115. I was exaggerating. But he's tired, so he's probably bowling like 105.
105 is still plenty quick at this level. And he'll be bowling to Sohan
Motam.
Matam. Sohan about to face his first ball. I think everybody else is expecting him to hit big because there's a deep backward square, there's a deep mid wicket, long on, all on the boundary. And he works this down the ground, and really that is all they need. It is not necessary to do anything beyond that. So Darshan Haribabu, 2 relatively new batters at the crease. Haribabu only 3 from 5. And Sohan Matam just facing his first ball.
Darshan, they expect him to also hit, but like they've come in a little bit, just a little bit. Darshan not quite getting the bat on ball, trying to guide it. Me, personally, I just get onto the ball and flick it to the leg side for a single, because look at that open leg side space.
I 100% agree with you. And everybody on the offside is inside the circle. Inside the circle, stopping 1. Looking to go big, trying to pierce that offside. A dot ball. And with each one of these dot balls, watch the required rate now up to 5.71. It was a no ball and completely missed that the first time. My apologies. So that no ball means that this is an excellent chance to break the shackles. Striking it through the fielder at short extra cover. He could have potentially stopped that, but not able to do so.
Just wide of him. That's just wide of him.
So 128 for 5. My goodness. This is being made much more difficult by the KATY Raiders than it should have to be. But again, big picture, only 18 needed from 21. So in theory, the chase should be under control.
This is an exciting match. Everybody's on their toes. Everybody watching is like, what's going to happen next? A wicket? A 4? But you don't get the experience that you have at Moosa when you're watching these games.
Appeal for a catch. And he's giving him.
What?
Wow. Umpire Sujit Gupta thinking, and then finally raising the finger. Look at this. Another wicket going down. 128 for 6. You still need 18 runs with 20 balls remaining, and 6 wickets are down.
Even I'm in the commentary box thinking about what just happened. Because everybody was like, what's going to happen next? A wicket? Because win predictors got to change.
Dare we suggest that the win predictor has swung in the opposite direction?
50
Dare we
for-
suggest
55-45.
that the win predictor is now 55-45 in terms of in favor of the challengers? They have come a long way back in this match, a match that 5 overs ago seemed all but certain that the KATY Raiders would take. All that has happened in the last 5 or so overs is that the KATY Raiders have started sputtering, and the challengers have built their confidence, and so much so that you now have 2 new batters at the crease. Well, Darshan Harbabu's been there, only 8 deliveries, and now Sean Jindal is joining him.
They both can just take singles and win it from here, but who knows what's in their minds.
We've said that now for probably 10 overs, that singles alone wins this match. But if you're looking to hit big, if you're looking to sort of take unnecessary risks, and if you're running in a suicidal fashion, then you get to where you are right now, where you're absolutely going to need to sort of right the ship. And it's not going to be easy because, okay, Rit Hinge has 2 balls remaining. This is Sean Jindal, who's going to be on strike. But you still have Aaron Nadkarni, who still has at least 1 over remaining. Aaron Nadkarni, in fact, we'll get back to the second. Full delivery, outside off, and it's signaled wide. So if I'm looking to see where my next wickets are coming from, Aaron Nadkarni still has 1 over remaining. Rit Hinge has 2 legal deliveries remaining. That last one helping out the opposition with that wide, but he still has the ability to take wickets. And, boy,
Sean?
17 more needed. This is going to not be an easy finish to this match. Outside off and another wide. So Rit Hinge helping out the opposition with these extras.
Rit just now his train is stopping as well. Like, okay, first he was stopping the KATY Raiders. Now him. So I think KATY Raiders still have a chance, but challengers have one little slimmer of hope left.
Well, he's now switched to bowling over the wicket. Oh, just going past the outside edge. Good collection there by Josh Trump. So 1 ball remaining here in the 17th. 7.72 runs is the rate at which they're scoring. They need to score another 16 runs in the next 19 balls, which translates to a required rate of 5.05. In fact, the required rate is less of an issue now. We're just looking at balls and runs remaining. Rit Hinge with the last ball of his spell. Oh, sailing past the outside edge again. That is the end of the over. Only 18 balls remaining. 3 overs left. The score is 130 for 6. Just an update from the ongoing match between the TCC Kings and the Texas Skywalkers on the adjacent field. Balkis, TCC Kings batting first, 121 for 9. And in response, the Texas Skywalkers are absolutely obliterating things. 112 without loss. Arjun Mahesh, 41 from 48. And Rishi Ramesh, 57 from 42 with 6 fours and 3 sixes. So it looks like that one is well underway for the Texas Skywalkers. Here in this match, KATY Raiders had this chase well and truly under control for a long time, but they are now struggling to close things out. They have another 16 runs needed, 4 wickets in hand, and the 2 batters at the crease are Darshan Haribabu, 4 from 8, and Sean Jindal, none from 2.
How does this happen?
This
They were cruising along nicely.
They absolutely were cruising along. This now appears to be Biraj Ejner, who's going to be bowling, coming from the Massey Ranch Road, and appeal for stumping and gone. Oh my goodness, yet another wicket goes down. Quick work by Joshua Trump, whipping the stumps off. And it is Darshan Haribabu who is overbalanced, falls forward, and tragically for him, absolutely leaves that left or that back foot out of the crease. Joshua Trump noticing it and whipping the bails off. Yet another wicket goes down. Can you believe it? Still another 16 runs needed. And now 7 wickets are down.
I'm quiet, dude. How does this happen? They were cruising along from the 13th over. And then 1 over from Aaron. And then 1 over from Pranav. That sums it all up.
I think what is important here is Abiram Yeruva is at the crease coming in to join Sean Jindal. Sean Jindal, who's only faced 2 balls, is now the senior partner. These 2 absolutely need to buckle down and determine how they're going to take their team over the finish line. I still say what they need is to get to the point where they can take a single, manufacture a single or 2. But it's proving more and more difficult. This is Viraj Ejner. He has 5 balls remaining in his spell. And with the first ball of his last over, he just took a wicket. He's going to be very fired up, looking to carry on the same charge, looking to sweep down the leg side, and it goes away for a wide. In addition, they run 1. So that's 2 big runs taken, 2 runs at this stage of the innings, and under the current circumstances are a tremendous gift for the batting side. So only 14 more needed and still 17 runs. Make that 17 balls remaining. Raj Ejner going to be bowling to Sean Jindal. He is bowling around the wicket to the left-handed Jindal. Looking to see what the field is looking like. Deep backward square in position, and then mid-wicket dropping back closer to the circle. So maybe they're expecting him to hit big here. He does try to hit big. Appeal for a catch. And not given by umpire Mehisania. So looking to clear the rope at deep mid-wicket. There's nobody out there. Mid-wicket, conventional mid-wicket is inside the circle. But they're making
Now they're
this look-
switching. Now they're switching. They may be talking about, yes, they're moving to a deep wind wicket, I'm pretty sure. The Pranab Batad talking with Josh Trump. Yes, they've moved conventional cover to deep mid.
Really interesting move. I think that was in direct response to the shot that was just attempted by Sean Jindal. In the air, but it's going to land safely at mid-on. Mid-on coming across. And a precious single taken. 4 balls remaining here in the 18th. Abhiram Yeruva now taking guard for the first time. And this game is entirely too close. In other words, it should never have had to come down to this. The KATY Raiders, had they not spit the bit, would have taken this one in a canter.
I can't handle the pressure. There's so much pressure. It's exciting, but it's also like, it'll keep you quiet.
Well played. Looking for a single. Yes, no, yes, no. And another dot ball. 14 balls, 13 runs. It is coming down to the wire.
You're talking like a fielder. Yes, no, they're taking a run. They can't take a there's no run there, boys.
Short of a length, worked into the covers. Fumble gives them the room to get a single. That is an important single in the context of this game. Now they are only in potentially 2 strokes away from winning this game. 12 runs needed and 13 balls in which to get them. Edgener coming in to bowl his last ball. Again, around the wicket, bowling to the left-handed Sean Jindal.
Personally, I would hit it behind square because that's where nobody is.
Advancing and smashing it straight to mid-on. Throw to the non-striker's end. That's a good dive by Sean Jindal. He's able to get in ahead of the throw. It's a good pickup and a good throw. But at the end of that, it's a single that brings the total runs in the over to 5. Only 11 runs needed from the next 2 overs. The score is 135 for 7.
Honestly, he could have hit that a little bit more to the gap, but he should have waited and just played it behind square because that's where nobody is. You could take 2, maybe even 3. Anirudh Bolasetti coming in after his first 2 overs.
Final roll of the dice. Anirudh Bolasetti about to bowl the 19th. And then Aaron Nadkarni still has 1 over left. So I would think that last over would be bowled by Aaron Nadkarni. But this is not going to be easy. Anirudh Bolasetti, even though so far he has been treated relatively rudely, 3 overs, none for 24, is still going to be one of your better bowlers. He's still going to be somebody who can be counted on to get the ball in the right areas. And if you're Sean Jindal, you're going to have to find ways to score from good deliveries. In other words, I don't anticipate that Anirudh Bolasetti will be spraying the ball down the leg side or too far outside off. So you're going to have to score off of his good deliveries. Let's see what he has in store. Right arm over the wicket. Dropped down behind point. Boy, a more accurate throw, a stronger throw may have caused some worries there. But they get a single.
Challengers are being a little sloppy, with their throws. Then they're not taking a start either.
Well, now they're going to be looking for ways to keep Abhiram Valasamagari. Abhiram Yeruva, my apologies. quiet. And now looking at the field, there's a deep backward square. There is a fine leg who was outside the circle but now is being brought inside. And so everyone inside the circle except for that fielder deep mid wicket. Make that deep square leg. So the name
There's
of
also
the game
third
from
man.
here is stopping ones.
There's also the deep third man.
Yep, third man now coming inside the circle. So just a quick update on the game that we were watching earlier. The Texas Skywalkers, as expected, Arjun Mahesh and Rishi Ramesh combining for an opening partnership of 122 to win by 10 wickets. Oh, look at this. Potential mad catting opportunity as Sean Jindal is on strike or about to take strike, but Abiram Yeruva potentially backing up a little too far. Make that the other way around, I'm sorry. It was Sean Jindal who was backing up a little too far. Abiram Yeruva is the one on strike. Short and pulled down in the deep to deep backward square. They get one throw coming into the keepers, and you have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Another run out. Absolutely mystifying how the KATY Raiders are collapsing in a heap at the end of this innings. It easily should have been 2 runs. Not exactly sure why there was hesitation in the first place. Sean Jindal and Abiram Yeruva both almost meeting each other in the middle of the pitch, and Joshua Trump having all the time in the world to remove the bails. The 8th wicket goes down. You've got to be kidding. The score is 136 for 8. Check that, 137 for 8.
Yet KATY Raiders are still in a winning position, 9 off 1.4.
Just another 9 runs needed, but I've got to think with 10 balls remaining, 9 runs, and 8 wickets in hand. So the equation is 8, 9, 10. 8 wickets gone, 9 runs needed, 10 balls in which to get them. This truly is mystifying. It's difficult to understate, or to overstate rather, how much of a collapse this represents for the KATY Raiders. So much so that with 10 balls to go, you really cannot say from here who is going to win. Here is Bolisetti. This is going to be a dot ball. And all of a sudden, now runs and balls have caught up with each other again. 9 balls remaining, 9 runs to get, and 8 wickets down.
They should have not came down to this, but Arya and Ryan getting out caused this.
Off, looking to play that off the back foot and runs it down to third for a single.
They still got this game in their hands. 8 singles, 8 balls.
It really is a matter of holding their nerve and getting the singles. But if you get a rush of blood and if you look to go big, you can easily spit the bit, as I said. So Sean Jindal, 3 from 6. Aryan Patel is his partner, 1 from 2. And Bolisetti looking to go big, gets it to mid-wicket, and they get a single. So that is only 7 runs remaining. Again, 7 balls. This is the last ball coming up of Anirudh Bolisetti's over, which obviously is the last of his spell. Only 7 balls remaining in the match. They have to find a way, if you are the challengers, of limiting the singles, because the singles from here will win the game. And so that third man for me is a little too deep. He needs to be in closer to stop that single. The deep fine leg, probably could say the same thing about him. But everybody else on the offside is stopping one. Here's Bolisetti. Looking to swing big, and he misses. So there's the dot ball that you were looking for. It means that 7 runs are required from the last over. Good afternoon, Ramjeet.
Good afternoon, Brian. How's it going? I mean, I think you can get a better T20 finish than this. Everything's happening. KATY Raiders thought they put a good score on the board. 145, just as I predicted at the pitch report.
Of course, you had to bring that up.
Of course. Yeah, some brownie points for me, right? Yeah. And then you see KATY Raiders at one point cruising very well, probably looking at chasing and finishing the game with probably a few overs to spare. And there you see a plethora of runouts from all over the place, at least 4 if I'm not wrong, and some of the seasoned batters getting run out. And there you are staring at 7 runs from 6 deliveries. Challengers crawling their way back into the game. So what's your win predictor saying at this stage? It's 51-49.
My win predictor has been retired because this game should have been finished 5 overs ago. And Aaron Nadkarni has the ball in his hand, as I've referred to him a few times already in this match, the attack dog. He has the responsibility of helping his team to pull victory out of the jaws of defeat. Bowling around the wicket to the left-hander. This is going to be a run out. No, not picked up cleanly. And they run through for a single.
Sean gets the single and goes off strike, and that brings back Aryan into strike. It's an interesting equation from this point. If challengers win, they get to 12 points, and the tournament is still wide open. The afternoon games will be the decider on who's going to play the finals. And if challengers lose at this point, it's still there's going to be KATY Raiders that will be a clear winner for the league stage and then move on to the finals, which means you will have the game between Skywalkers and TCC Kings. Oh, sorry, Skywalkers versus Challengers could be a decider.
Oh, look at this.
Oh!
A direct hit there, and he's gone. Oh, no. Aaron Nadkarni will ask himself, why was he not in position to collect that throw coming in from the covers?
He just could not believe his eyes.
Been there, he could have easily picked that up and more than enough time to effect that run out. But they get a single at the end of all of that. So now the equation is 5 from 4. Nadkarni again bowling around the wicket to the left-handed Sean Jindal.
Whoa.
Driven down the ground, a quick single to mid-off rather. So 3 balls bowled, 3 singles taken. The equation 4 from 3.
These are all the games we want to see. In T20 cricket, we want to see these games.
So every result still possible here.
I mean,
2 wickets remaining for victory for the challengers. 4 runs needed by the Raiders.
we really haven't seen Aryan Patel hit, so we don't know what he's capable of.
Boy.
He maybe can even scoop Aryan, but that may not be
Not
possible.
sure if he'll want to do that. Looking to go over the leg side, not called. So that might have passed over the top of the stumps. That is a precious dot ball. They need 2 runs off, or maybe 4 runs off of 2 balls. 4 runs needed, 2 balls to go. They need to find a way to manufacture a run or 2. Get back to ball.
All they need
Because
No, I'm sorry. You can. Okay. All they need to do is really, Aryan Patel. You really just needs to use Aryan's pace, because Aryan gives a lot of pace on his ball. Just scoop it over Josh's head. That could be 4.
Well, look at the ring of fielders inside the circle on the offside.
Everybody's in. Aryan charging in. from the pavilion end and decides not to deliver that. A lot of pressure. It's a mind game between the bowler and the batter at this stage, I would say. And all Aryan has to do at this stage is just take a single and bring Sean back on strike, because Sean is capable of hitting, is a powerful batter compared to Aryan at this stage of the game, and is capable of handling the pressure, in my opinion.
Well, everything to play for here. Here's Aaron Nadkarni. Goes through. This is going to be a run out. A run out.
Yeah.
So 1 wicket remaining and 4 runs still needed to get.
Yet another run out. That's run out number 5 for KATY Raiders. And they are looking down the barrel at this stage. 4 runs needed from the last over.
The last ball.
Last ball, yes.
With the new batter on strike.
Yeah,
that
that's
new
the new
batter.
ICC strike, ICC rules, right? So the new batter comes on strike.
Well, it's a run out from that end either way. So that's where the new runner would be in either event.
Yeah.
But my goodness, this has become the most amazing of chases. This game should have been over with a really long time ago. The KATY Raiders had this well and truly under control. It has come all the way down to the point where only 4 runs, the matter of 4 runs, separates the challengers from victory.
And now you can see it's obvious that the entire field that was inside the 30 yards is now completely spread out. All they need to do is just stop that odd boundary, if at all it happens. Looking at Aaron bowling this delivery, the last delivery of this over, you need to probably reinforce a little bit on behind the wickets. Not the ball.
There it is.
There it is.
What
Bang on
an
target.
Absolutely fantastic victory for the challengers. They have come all the way back, and the KATY Raiders themselves, I think, are going to be really mystified with how they managed to make a meal of this chase to the extent that they did. That is the end of the match. 142 for 9 is all that the KATY Raiders could get to. So that is victory by 3 wickets, made by 3 runs for the challengers.
I guess that was signaled as stumped by the leg umpire. So that probably means KATY Raiders are all out for 142.
Absolutely amazing.
At one stage in the innings break, it looked as though challengers were at least a good 10 to 15 runs short based on the scores, and it looked like they proved every single team and the watchers wrong by pulling off an incredible victory. Kudos to the challengers. Amazing turnaround of events here at the Moosa Stadium for the 2023 Turmeric Houston Youth Premier League Day 3, Season 5.
So just a quick look through the match summary. The challengers with Rit Hinge, 82 from 67, and Aaron Nadkarni, 32 from 38, put 145 runs on the board. In response, the KATY Raiders only able to get to 142 for 9. The KATY Raiders innings initially commandeered by Ryan Bagani, 38 from 23, and Pranav Chetapaliyam, 20 from 15. And then Arikanantha, 29, and V.S. Shriman, 20. But they absolutely fell apart from there. The remaining scores 4, 0, 1, 6, 2, 2, and 0. And the victory for the KATY Raiders make that the challengers by 3 runs. So an exciting match comes to an end. Join us here in the next 30 minutes or so for the start of the second match. For now, we're signing off from the Moosa Cricket Stadium in Pearland, Texas. This is Brian Walters. We'll be joining you shortly.